Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the 2021 USBC Masters. My name is Aaron Smith with USBC Communications. We are ready for B Squad qualifying round number one. We have A Squad already in the books. They have their 5 games on this very challenging 40-foot lane condition already in the books. I believe the number was only 7 players averaged better than 200 out of more than 70 players on that squad. So they're tough. That's what we've been hearing throughout the course of the week so far. So we are moments away from joining everybody at the National Bowling Stadium for B Squad over there in Reno, Nevada. But first, let's go ahead as the final few minutes of practice wrap up. We're going to bring in Matt Cannizzaro first, our co-host this week. There he is. Matthew, welcome back to Bowl TV and the Masters. We are ready for B Squad. That was tough. A Squad, low scoring pace, tough to put together numbers. What do you expect out of B Squad? And now that, perhaps they've seen that, take the pocket when you can get it, take 190s when you can get it, and then pop a number when it's out there.
Well, I'm going to guess that they probably learned a little bit from watching on Bowl TV, watching A Squad this morning and seeing what worked and what didn't, and getting a better idea of what they saw during practice yesterday. Of course, when you're the one bowling, it's hard to see what's happening, but to be able to watch it and have 5 games to get a clue and make a game plan. I think we'll see some struggles again and some low scores, but I think we're going to see a little bit of an uptick from A Squad this morning.
All right, and we're going to be joined by a couple people throughout the course of the block, but first and foremost, we're going to bring in Inside Bowling's Mike Flanagan, who is on site in Reno, Nevada, doing cool things. A video of, I was going to say a video blog, that's called a vlog, apparently. He just dropped one of those on our YouTube channel, Facebook as well. Took a glance at it before we started this block. Some great stuff from Reno. So we're going to bring in Mike as well to tell us a little bit more about that. So Michael, hello, and excellent job there.
Hey, thanks. You guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Good. All right. I just want to make sure the board was working since I haven't been on at all today so far. But welcome to Bowl TV Studios West, right? I mean, check it out. I look almost as cool as you, Aaron.
I don't know. That's pretty tough, but I will agree. The chair situation is looks a little more comfy. So there you go.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, we did just drop that vlog out there. It's been on Facebook for a couple of hours, and it's also out on YouTube. It gives a great breakdown of what happened in practice yesterday. And I think the funniest thing in there, not to give it away, is how many players had different opinions. I think we got Chris Vi on there saying, well, urethane's in play. And then you got Chris Prather right behind him saying, this is the first time I haven't seen urethane in play. So the players are just so confused with this oil pattern. And we saw it in the opening squad earlier today that you guys did such a fantastic job bringing the coverage earlier today, dialing it in while I was back there editing that vlog. Great job, guys. And like you said, 7 players plus. This is a grind out, guys. It reminds me of bowling the Open Championships when your Donk 220 average league bowler on a house shot goes and participates there. Man, you're really seeing some tough lane conditions out there, and it's been cool to watch. So I'm happy to be here with you guys this block, and hopefully I can add something to the commentary. And I'm looking forward to it with you guys. It's great to get the band back together.
Getting the band back together. I like that, Michael. Once again, taking a look at the A Squad standings, Gary Faulkner Jr., a past major winner on the PBA Tour and at the National Bowling Stadium, finding some success early on, going plus 103 for his 5 games. So the only competitor to average more than 220. Let's see, continuing on. Matthew Zweig, plus 88. He was consistent throughout the course of the day. His low game in game 5, but he mostly stayed out of trouble. Took home some, 2-0s, 2 teens, popped a big 250 in there in the middle of the block. Maria Jose Rodriguez from the PWBA Tour, moving into 3rd spot after kind of grinding out the first 2 games. It opened up a little bit for her, 220, 246, and 219 to get to plus 79. And then we have a drop of 40 pins. Asku Palermo in 4th place at plus 39. Nick Krummel and Brandon Novak round out the top 5, both at plus 14. 7 players were plus, and one of them was even, Josh Blanchard. So 8 total players averaging at least 200 out of the, scroll down to the bottom here, 71 competitors. So not something you necessarily see quite a bit on tour. And, especially we've had some high scoring events the past couple of weeks between the World Series of Bowling and a few other things. So a little bit different format as far as the scoring pace. So I think that's definitely interesting to see. I think it's going to make, once we get to day 3 of qualifying here, we start looking at cut numbers. That's going to be really fun, especially if it's still on the lower pace, knowing that if someone can find a way to pop a 250, 260, they can jump so many spots so quickly.
Yeah, I think the big number to look at here, if you're looking through the standings, and you can go see all the standings over at bowl.com. You can check out live scoring at bowl.com on the Masters page. So everything's there for you. But Kyle Troop, 43rd position, 97 pins under, only averaging 180 after that first block. Coming into this 2-week major session here in Reno, that's a guy that's looking to solidify himself as the player of the year potentially, and struggles today at minus 97.
And that was one of the things, we discussed during the first block is, with the scoring pace being on the lower side, you really couldn't afford to put yourself in a spot where you needed to go 200 over for a block because, frankly, it's just not out there this week. So it'll be interesting to see how Kyle rebounds. Obviously, he's been one of the strongest players. Mike, as you mentioned, clearly one of the front runners for player of the year so far heading into these final 2 majors. So it's going to be interesting to see how the pro with the fro bounces back. I know you got a chance to talk to him a little bit during the vlog as well. One of the first players you got to chat with. Just some impressions from Kyle. Knowing that he struggled today, what was kind of the mindset during the practice session for him?
Yeah, no, he was confused. He thought urethane, but then said, no, I like resin, and then I might have to use urethane, and then he was going to drill a urethane ball. So, and today he looked confused again, but he'll get it figured out. His reps will help him out as well. The number I look at, and Matt EC, you're a numbers guy. I mean, you look at numbers all year round when you're running your event out there. But if you do the numbers, right, and the strength of squad, forget strength of squad, we're going to take 63 people into the bracket, right? So right now we're looking at 21st position is the number, right, guys? So minus 34, we got a tie for 20th as Kona and Diana Z.
Yeah, I was definitely just checking out those numbers. That's kind of where you want to have your eyes at this point, give or take, right? A third of the field on each squad. So 20th position, 21st position, an indicator perhaps of kind of where you need to be for the day. So minus 34, not what you'd expect just based on watching some of the events so far this year. And, some of the TV shows a little bit higher scoring. And again, though, it's all relative. You want to go through the season, have a variety of lane conditions, some higher scoring, some a little more challenging, especially at the majors, to go out and test the versatility of the players. And for a major championship, you certainly want to have to go out and earn it by throwing the best shots and making your spares. And I think most of the players will agree with that. Even Kyle Troop, despite having a little bit of a struggle today, I think he would rather have it that way. And now he's got 10 more games to try to figure it out and make the move back into the top 64.
We're going to go ahead and go full screen here, folks, so you can enjoy the action. But myself, Matt, and Michael will still be discussing things here in the early going as we take a look at Graham Fa, Marshall Kent, Chris Prather, and Justin Veitch. as they tackle this 40-foot lane condition for the first time. We got to see a little bit of these guys yesterday during our practice session podcast, but their first opportunity to hit the lanes here, 49 and 50. If you're watching on bulltv.com, we certainly thank you for that. If you want to scroll through the different channels available, if you're watching on a desktop or a laptop, go below the video. You'll find the entire channel selection there. You might have to scroll a little bit to the right because we have so many, 8 channels, along with this commentary channel to pick from. If you're on a mobile device, top right-hand corner, you will find a 4-box window pane that will allow you to scroll through the navigation as well. So we got a little bit of a variety here as far as ways players will attack the lanes. Grandpa obviously coming from the left side. The left side, good for Gary Faulkner in the early round, taking the top overall spot for A Squad, the only player to get to north of plus 100. Prather, of course, has been one of the rising stars on a tour the last couple of seasons, has collected a couple of wins, recently won doubles with Andrew Anderson during the World Series of Bowling as well.
Yeah, they say he's the best bowler in the house. You know, they got that house thing that they're all part of, and they claim he's the best one of the bunch.
Do you believe that, Michael?
Yeah, I probably do.
It's hard to argue with the record he has put up in the past couple of years. Of course, Marshall Kent, the big news with him, switching ball brands prior to the start of kind of everything picking up here in 2021, heading to big bowling. So brand new company, Rhino Page, very involved with that. A few other players have joined the team, but Marshall making a pair of shows as well during the World Series of Bowling. So it's fun to see the success of the new company as well.
Yeah, the interesting thing with the big bowling deal is because they're so limited with the amount of equipment that they make, you know, they're allowing Marshall Kent to use other equipment until they can build a full arsenal. So as you watch Marshall bowl here, you know, he's got a urethane ball in his hand. And I've seen him use 2 different urethane balls. I've seen him use one from his former brand and one from another brand out there that happens to be purple. So it's interesting watching Marshall. He trips that 2-pin. He loves to use urethane, and I think it's cool that his company's letting him be able to do that when they're just getting started out. It's an interesting play for sure, and a different thing from a ball company to see, because typically, you know, ball companies are all about logos and wear and using, you know, the proper equipment. But you know, I'm rooting for those guys. There's a lot of great companies out here that have been established for a long time. I just think it's good to see more ball manufacturers out there, and wish them all the best in the world. So good luck to Marshall and everyone at Big Bowling.
Couldn't agree more with you, Mike. Great stuff there. Justin off with an early 4-bagger.
Yeah, I got a little experience with this guy here. You know, he and his wife are heavily involved in the collegiate program. Southland Bowling League. I get to see his wife there, and he's also helped coach some years. But this guy bowled the IB Open, the InsideBowling.com Open that I ran for 7 years, and he was always a guy that made match play. So I never made him real easy there. As a matter of fact, I've had a couple people come up to me and say that the pattern here this week kind of resembles a little bit of the IB Open. Not quite, but a little bit. Very demanding. The only difference is in the National Bowling Stadium, as Bill O'Neill said yesterday when I interviewed him, that there's a lot of OB outside of 5. That it's very, very difficult to get the ball back outside of the 5th board here.
And something we saw throughout the block, obviously our cameras essentially located from the middle of the house to the high end. And something I'm trying to remember which ball rep was kind of describing the journey throughout the house. You know, obviously topography plays a big part of it. We were talking about that yesterday as well, with the each player having their own topography report. But you know, that was one of the characteristics they said of the high end of the house, which is where we're at. You're going to see that little extra hang. So we saw a lot of 2-pin combinations, a lot of 210s throughout the course of the day. So you did not want to miss right generally on this pattern, but it seemed to, from what they were telling us, there was you paid a little bit bigger penalty the farther right you got in the house.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. What you just said, those are facts that you're spitting down there. That's why I think when we see Belmo tonight, when we saw him in practice yesterday, he had two different looks. He had that inside angle that really not too many other people had. Then he also had the outside look. And I think he's going to start in. That's what I would do. And I was talking with Stu Williams getting some pizza last night, and he said that Simonson had the best look in the building. So I'm interested to see how Simo bowls and see if Stu is right on that one.
Well, I have to know now. You guys are getting pizza. A, where, and B, what kind?
Not the Pizza by the Slice place. That's not open. But there is like a pizzeria place where they make it in front of you. It's the Circus Food Court. It's one of the three places open.
Mike, did you just catch that? Thank you for that report, by the way. I'm always intrigued to what's new and happening at the row. But did you see that messenger somehow not connect for grandfather?
I did, and what's interesting about Graham as well is last night the same conversation with Stu. He goes, "All right, Mike, who do you think's gonna bowl well tomorrow?" And of course, my wanting to stir the pot a little bit, I said, "Well, it's got to be a lefty, Stu. Just because I like to hassle him a little bit." And I said, "I'm gonna pick Graham Faw, or maybe even a guy like Gary Faulkner could bowl really good tomorrow." And Gary Faulkner led the last squad, and look at Graham Faw right here on our stream, throwing messengers. Did you make mention that there's two Masters champions on this squad, Sean Rash and Anthony Simonson?
We have not mentioned that yet, but that is, we have a total of 6 Masters champions in the field, and 2 of them on this squad and 4 of them on C squad.
Yeah, also, before we get too carried away here, I want to give a shout out to somebody who I just saw a picture posted on the break. Our huge PBA fan and PWBA fan, Kenny Seymour, had a procedure done this morning. He came out of his procedure at the hospital. His mom reported, took a picture of him. He's doing well, recovering greatly. And what's the first thing he wanted to do? He wanted to fire up the computer or their phone or their tablet, and they're watching. He wanted to watch bowling, the Masters, immediately, which is no surprise. So, Kenny, glad you're doing well. And sorry about your favorite bowler of all time, Pete Weber, retiring from the regular tour, but he'll still be out on the senior tour for you. And I'm sure if Pete was watching right now, he'd want to wish you the same well wishes. So, Kenny Seymour, glad you're doing well, buddy.
Very nice, Mike and Kenny. Glad to hear that good news. Taking a quick look across the house. Once again, live scoring available, folks. If you head over to bowl.com/masters, you will have access to results, oil pattern, lane pairings, live scoring, and more. You can see the roster. You can see the daily schedule. Once we get to the bracket, that's where you'll find the link for that as well. And once again, nothing too crazy out of the blocks here. So obviously these players, I'm sure the text message exchanges were going back and forth at an alarming rate when the scores started rolling in from A squad. But right now, nothing too crazy to jump out at us right now. And even thinking to the beginning of last block, I think there's a 250, a 240, and a couple 220s out of the gates. And then, of course, having the switch basically going to a fresh pair after that, we saw essentially the highest number of players on the right side of plus after game one, which is usually contrary to how that works. Usually it's, start off a little slow, opening them up, everyone gets their pins at the end of the block. And didn't necessarily happen that way for A squad. So will be intriguing to kind of chart that process along the way as they continue their journey across the NBS and on this extra soupy 40-foot pattern.
Yeah, and these guys are bowling pretty well out of the gate. I know that you're not seeing 230, 240s here, but these guys are keeping the lane in play here, and they're bowling pretty well here for our opening fresh match of competition. I do got a question here. We've got some dark pairs here in the center, but we are using lanes 1 and 2. And down on 1 and 2 is Sean Rash and EJ Tackett, bowling with Richard Perez and Brian Bledsoe, and they are off camera range. And I wanted to bring in Matt Cannizzaro if he's still with us. any lanes stick out here to you as tough ones? You know, typically an end pair a lot of times has this bad omen. And Sean Rash, EJ Tackett, not only having to bowl on a difficult pattern, but also having to start on lanes 1 and 2. Any truth to that here in the National Bowling Stadium?
Michael Flanagan, you are trying to bait me, sir, and it's not going to work. But any pair that somebody says, one person, all it takes is one person to say that is a bad pair, most likely because they just bowled poorly on it. All of a sudden, it is a bad pair, and then nobody in the history of bowling wants to bowl on that pair of lanes. In that building, it came up in a blog one time. Somebody mentioned that a pair was not particularly good because of their experience or somebody's experience, and all of a sudden, there was a line at the check-in counter to not be on that pair of lanes. It is not 1 and 2. Now, I have seen some great scores over the years, going back for me to 2007 at least, at the Open Championships and various events at the NBS. I've seen some great scores in all sections of the facility. A lot of numbers have come from just right of center aisle. So starting probably about 29 to 40 has yielded some pretty nice results. There was a 2007 all events title won, I believe on 3, 4, 5, and 6 or 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think everything has been leveled and addressed and over the years and all the talk and the chatter. I think it's just that for the most part. Again, if somebody bowls well or wins an event, it's because that pair was great, not because they were great, right? Or if they bowl poorly, it's because it was a terrible pair, and it has to be, and nobody wants to bowl on that pair ever again. So I don't know if that really answered your question or protected my job. I'm not really sure, but it's actually the truth. I think they're all good pairs. Somebody has bowled well at some point on all of them, and that's really how it is. And somebody's bowled poorly there. It's just how bowling works.
Thank you, Matt.
That was a very long-winded non-answer, but I'm learning in my old age.
Well, EJ Tackett can still bowl 238 down there, and Rash just threw a split in the 10th frame. He had two teen left. And the other bowlers on the pairs, we're looking at 2-0 and 190. So they had a chance to go over par on 1 and 2. So I think if you're looking to bowl any events in the National Bowling Stadium, you should send an email in to whoever is running the event. Most of the time it's the United States Bowling Congress, and request to be put on lanes 1 and 2 based off of Matt's analysis right there.
Well, also note that generally at the Open Championships, for example, for most years, the assignments would start around center aisle and work their way out. So depending on the size of the squad, those end pairs might get less play anyway over the course of the event or the years. And of course, that's where the Bowlers Journal Championships initially was scheduled to be last year as well, 1 through 12. So we like to mix it up. We like to keep it all crazy and keep you on your toes, and never want you to get too comfortable. The more we go back to a place, the more we're going to do to make it feel like it's the first time.
Well, I know we have at least one listener, because I had a Hall of Fame athlete just send in a text message that said 1 and 2 might be the easiest pair in the whole building.
Well, based off of that, they should have scored way higher then, right?
And if you want to know the riddle here, you can look up who won the all events in 1998, and it's one of those bowlers. And that's not for us to figure out. That's for the fans at home to figure out.
Are we talking about team all events?
Well, this person didn't specify. So that makes the riddle even harder.
It does, because there would be only one all events winner and 5 team all events winners, and
yeah, well, he said
one of those team all events winners bowled 221 in game number 1 today.
He said the word we, so I guess it is team all events.
And he also might have won the individual all events title.
Perhaps. Basically, if he bowls a bad game on 1 and 2, we can give him a hard time on the air throughout this week and next week actually as well. Chris Prather 180 on the board here. Oh, maybe I'm a little early. Sorry about that. I got to get used to that. That's my first party foul.
Well, welcome to the club. We'll get you your patch here shortly.
We're on a 30-second delay, folks, on our broadcast here from what I'm seeing to my left. So that's my bad.
Hey, Michael, I got the same super secret Hall of Fame message as well, and it was exactly who we were figuring it was, or who I was alluding to before seeing the message. And I think that gentleman would really, really, really like to succeed and win this event sometime.
Yeah, he's also a two-sport athlete.
That's true.
$189 in the books for Marshall Kent and Justin, who had a chance to get into the 240s there. Talked about not wanting to get it right, and that one, unfortunately, unable to get up the hill. 2-4-10 is going to slow him down a little bit there. Matt, go ahead. Or I thought you were going to say something there, Matt. I'm sorry.
I was actually leaning in close because we can actually see, I can see you guys at the bottom of the screen here. So I can see Aaron had a kind of a perplexed look, but I think he knows what's going on and he wanted to say something, but then he didn't, and then was ready to jump in with some details about the actual bowling that's happening right now at the Masters, which is, of course, why we're here and announcing some scores now that we are in the final frame of this first game.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say, too, that everybody that's watching needs to cut us a little bit of slack here. I mean, you guys, we got Ken Nazaro's at his house. Aaron Smith is in Bowl TV Studios South. I'm in Bowl TV Studios West with a mask on the entire time, so I'm sure I sound wonderful. And we're all bringing this broadcast to you from all over the country, which has become the new way for the last 16 months. So if there's ever awkward silence or we talk over each other, we need that get-out-of-jail-free card, please, everybody, if you've ever played Monopoly. Do kids even play that anymore?
It's probably digital somehow, but yeah, I'm sure they do. But don't forget, we all bring something special and different to this broadcast, all different experience and over the years, different events. And somebody actually sent me a note earlier and said that we sounded knowledgeable and had great insight. So we fooled somebody. So that's good news.
Nicely done there, Matt. Wrapping up, Justin 211 to lead the way here on this pair after the open of the 10th. But handful of 180s for the other guys. Taking a quick look around the house, Michael Martell on 53 and 54, 221. Jason Sterner, 217. Anthony Simonson going to be in the 220s here out of the gates. Charlie Brown, 230. He's had some success here at the stadium. DJ Archer, Mike talked about him making a show here at the Masters way back in 2004, 237 start out of the gates. Actually, a nice showing for that pair on 17 and 18. Zach Tech at 223. Dan Higgins as well, 223. So pretty similar on the scoring pace as far as there's some games out there. We talked about 1 and 2 a little bit. EJ Tackett leading the way, 225. The rest of the guys on that pair finishing in the 170s.
Hey, also a pair of 237s for Brad Miller and Tommy Jones down on the high end.
There we go. Yeah, we had someone in the chat ask where they were at. Brad, Wes, Chris Sloan, and Jerry Mars. That's a pretty solid pair right there. They're on 57, 58. They're going to be moving to 59 and 60. We could say the same for Tommy Jones. He's just going to be moving one over to 69 and 70 next. So you guys will be able to continue to watch them. So
my amateur pick, Steve Klimpkin, 191 with an open in the 10th.
The Hall of Famer. He knows his way around this tournament. He's just biding his time right now.
Brad posted 237. Kyle can strike out on 21 and 22 for 226. And we're proud to see that Kyle Sherman actually got his entry in for this tournament.
Oh, man. Low blow.
That's your boy, Michael. That's your boy right there.
That's why I said it.
So I have to give a quick shout out. We talked about vlogs a little bit with the great things Michael put together from day one, available on the Bull TV YouTube channel. But took a look at Brad and Kyle's vlog from practice day as well. So good stuff as always from them. And even a quick shout out to Bull TV as well at the end there. So we appreciate that from the guys. They're on their way to 100,000 subscribers, Michael. That's and I know you've been pretty involved with them over the course of the years, but that's some pretty big stuff for them moving ahead.
Yeah, I'm just proud of the work that they've done. It's not easy to do that stuff while you're trying to bowl and compete on tour. It's very difficult work. I know that firsthand, and the fact that they've been able to show up in the space and do it consistently for such a long time. I will tell you this, there's been YouTubers I've watched over the years that have gone away, and when they go away, you really miss them. So those of you that aren't watching Brad and Kyle or may criticize them in any sort of way, I'm just going to let you know one day it won't be there anymore, folks, and you're really going to miss it. So make sure you cherish every moment and every piece of content that they put out and support them as much as you can.
And speaking of them, let's head over to Brad and Kyle's pair Brad's pair. Kyle's on the other side of the house. He'll be down here eventually. But we mentioned Wes Malott, Chris Sloan, and Jerry Mars as well. So you'll take a look at us here in our respective Bull TV studios across the land here. Multiple time zones being achieved as well.
Yeah, and I think Jason Thomas owes me an apology because there's a huge light right above us, and he didn't turn it on for me this block. You know, I could have wore a lighter color, you guys. Well,
we were so impressed with the red and the black yesterday. So we talked about Belmo's jersey choice with the black and red with the big X on it and how much he struck. So I figured you were going to be going steady with that throughout the course of the next couple of days here. Just kind of keep that momentum flowing from practice day.
I really would like to be able to do that. You know, I gotta say something else too. I think I'm gonna let this announcement happen first. Okay, no, I guess we're good. Okay, so I love the attitude of the players that are here bowling in regards to being on camera, because I didn't have anybody get upset with appearing on camera yesterday when I stuck a camera in their face. And then also, like yesterday, anybody that I asked to join us for you guys to interview at the end of the block, including Belmo, we're very happy to do it. And then I understand Belmo pulled a little joke on you guys yesterday.
That was that he did. It was so good that I actually talked about it during. We had a meeting this morning to discuss our weekly tasks, and I had left my mute button on because that's a thing now. And then I got to retell that story. But yes, we had Belmo join us on our Bull TV studio, and all of a sudden, we ask him a question. He comes in, he starts talking, he gives us the peace sign. It's a great start, and then all of a sudden, he's appearing as though he's talking. And both Matt and I had to have these just absolutely stupid look on our faces as we're not hearing anything. And I'm looking, I see the channel's not muted. So I'm like, what happened in between this? We just talked to someone. What possibly could have gone wrong? And then he's like, fooled you. Like, oh, that's good. Because he had his mask on. So I feel that's not the only time we'll fall for that this week. So that's certainly in play moving forward. So, but if folks continue to do it, you're just stealing from Belmo now. That's it.
We are in game number 2. I know JT's running around and he's going to update the graphics. We are in game number 2 right now, everybody. If you're just joining us here on Bull TV, Aaron Smith running the show, Matt Cannizzaro dropping all the knowledge and making me look bad, and I'm Mike Flanagan joining these guys, trying to contribute something to the broadcast here as we watch bowlers struggle to throw strikes on the lanes.
We like to call it Masters for short, though.
Oh, look at this. JT is working.
Big thanks to JT. You as well, Mike. I know you guys are running around like madmen out there, trying to get all this set up. Once again, eight camera feeds, a ninth with this commentary channel, all available on BowlTV.com, and giveaways as well. We have a bowling ball to give away today. We got one per day for qualifying, one from Storm, one from Rotogrip, and one from 900 Global. Michael, I'm going to put it on you. What bowling ball brand should we kick off our giveaway and qualifying with today?
What bowling ball brand? Well,
from those three.
Yeah, I got that much, Aaron. Let's see. I'm gonna go with a brand that I feel like has really elevated things lately. That was kind of a brand you didn't think about a lot in the past, but boy, it's become a relevant brand. And we actually saw one of their staffers is second on the squad, Matthew Zweig. So let's go with 900 Global. 900 Global, and since we do have a Hall of Famer who's on 900 Global staff that may or may not be texting us, I think it's the 900 Global giveaway today on this squad, guys. What do you say?
I like the sound of that, Michael. And folks, remember, at 900 Global, whether you're a pro or just starting out, they have something for you. They strive to manufacture and deliver amazing products, excellent service, and proudly do it all right here in the United States. Visit 900global.com to find your new bowling ball. 900 Global, striking worldwide. But we're going to get you one today. One lucky winner is going to take one home sometime during B Squad. There, I said it. It's going to happen. B Squad, folks, we will be giving away a 900 Global bowling ball. It's going to be of your choice, too. So you mentioned that particular staffer who we may or may not be watching. So maybe they have some recommendations as well for what works good on a multiple lane condition, something great to add to your arsenal. But one lucky Bowl TV subscriber, you can only win it on Bowl TV, folks, will take home a 900 Global bowling ball of choice later today during B Squad. An excellent question in the Bowl TV chat as well. How will you win? It's going to be easy, folks. You're just going to have to essentially we're gonna let you know it's going to be happening. You're already watching, so that's half the battle. But you'll essentially just see a prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. We just ran the 900 Global ad in that area as well. So if you caught that, but all you'll have to do is click a submit entry button when the time is right, and we'll set you up for that. You don't have to answer any trivia questions. You're already logged in, so you got that part taken care of. All you have to do is click submit entry, and you'll have a chance to win.
Don't forget, everybody, in just a little bit, we'll have scores up for game number 1 here from B Squad. It's available over at bowl.com. Just click on the tournaments tab at the top, short duration events, masters, and that's going to give you all the information you need. You also got those topography lane graphs that were handed out to all the bowlers as well, all the scores from the first squad, and the schedule of all of the things happening here from Reno here the rest of the week. And don't forget, coming up on Sunday, we're going to bet live stepladder final on FS1. I think a lot of us take it for granted, the great relationship the PBA and the USBC has with Fox in relation to these two events this week and next week. Don't forget US Open coming up next week as well. And yes, we are all going to be here for it.
Well, good folks. It looks like, we talked so much about him. He just magically appeared here, ready to chat here on Bowl TV. So we're going to go ahead and bring in the one, the only, the Hall of Famer, Mr. Chris Barnes. So, Chris, welcome to Bowl TV. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, I think. So everything's going there.
They are going well. We're cruising along. Second squad of the day. Obviously, we got C squad coming up. You got a chance to bowl on this a little bit earlier today. Tell us about that experience.
Well, it looked like they ran the U.S. Open a week early. They were hard. They're a lot like practice, which is not exactly what we anticipated. We thought maybe since that first practice session, they might end up being a little bit softer, but that didn't end up being the case. So our squad did not do particularly well. And it remains to be seen whether that's going to be across the board or not. But, without seeing some of the scores, it seems like there was a few more 200, 220 games in game 1 than this morning. But, again, you can't really see the whole building, so it's hard to tell.
Well, Chris, you got off to a great start today, and 220. So we were talking about you there, game number 1, and then we saw kind of across the house things slow down the pace a little bit. Game 2, game 3, and then our left-hander Gary Faulkner had a big finish to jump into the lead. But as the 5 games progressed, talk about coming out. I mean, you got to see fresh back-to-back, and then 5 games. It kind of really is a sprint, right? So not a whole lot of transition, I would imagine. But walk us through the 5 games, and then we'll talk about what we're seeing out here today as game 2 progresses.
No, not a lot at all. And depending on who you followed, and some of the pairs I did follow from game 1, so I followed Liz and Carl Wahlberg, and so I didn't follow a ton of Rev Rate either. And then I followed Blanchard and Nathan, also not a lot. And then Oscar the last game, which was a lot of urethane. And so my last pair was probably the tightest of all the pairs I bowled on, ironically. So a bit of an oddity for a 5-game block that really didn't see a lot of transition, didn't see a whole lot of breakdown. And, we planned and we sent balls out here. We were still thinking we were going to bowl more games on more pairs than we ended up doing. And so, a lot of those were out of the way. Basically stayed with pretty aggressive equipment all the way across the board. And, it didn't really. I don't know that there was a magic ball anyway. I think it was really about you just had to throw it good.
Now, are you surprised after practice yesterday, coming in today, knowing what the pattern was, what the look was? Out of 71 players on the opening squad, only 7+, and then Josh Blanchard was 8th at even. You were right behind him at -3, but the best in the world out here on Bowling for a Major. Are you surprised at all by what it ended up being through 5 games?
No, I mean, I think there's a couple things going on. One, how things progress. There's not as much guys didn't get to bowl as much as they normally would in between there a little bit, and they're way harder than what we've been bowling on the last several weeks. And basically the opposite as far as lane surfaces, from an older beat up HPL surface to a pretty new and pretty slick tight down lane pro Am lane. And so pictures of people's eyes and what they've been doing to bowl well lately versus what you have to do here is it's a pretty big adjustment. And so maybe the bigger surprise to me is that Gary didn't have more company. So.
Well, now we know that the season as a whole certainly should be a test of versatility for the players. You want to see a variety of conditions and go out there, and then when it's all said and done at the end of the season, the player who bowled the best overall, who was the most versatile, will essentially be your player of the year or in the running. But you guys have seen some higher scoring events and now a real grind. But which do you prefer? Do you want to go out there and make the shots and make the spares? Or do you want to have the strike fast or somewhere in between? What's the ideal situation for you and your ultimate respect for the game and the challenge of it, especially at a major?
I mean, the guys I end up respecting the most are the guys that find ways to do it a lot of different ways. And of course, that's very centric based and self-centered probably in a lot of ways, because I spent a lot of time learning how to acquire those skills from the guys who were great at it before me and trying to keep up with them on it. And so that's why I personally value it. It doesn't always translate anyway. But, a guy like Simonson who throws it 43 different ways and has kind of reset the bar of versatility. I mean, that's a whole new bar in general. But the guys at the top are great. They're always great shot makers. I think there's a misnomer that because you're powerful, you're not a great shot maker. And the guys at the top, they might be really a little better at creating room, but if they're using it all the time, they're not the ones at the top. So, I mean, variety is generally what people like to see between the patterns. We've seen the TOC was really soft for one squad, and then it was in the medium to medium high range the rest of the week. Tampa was a little bit of everything, but basically it was a really tough carrying center, which is what kept the scores away from being really high no matter what the pattern was, and made them pretty low on some of the harder patterns. And then this is another building that carries not exceptional. And so and going across the house, there's a lot of challenges from the low end to the high end, and a few pairs that are a little bit unique, and it keeps it pretty tricky.
Well, right now we're seeing a bit of a roller coaster ride as we did during the first block. West Malott started this game 3-4 and has had some struggles here on the left lane. We talked earlier with Brett Spangler just about the challenges this week. I personally thought it might be more mentally challenging just because there's just so much thinking involved. And then, so many things that could get in your head, like a 3 count to start a game. And Brett actually thought that it would be more physically demanding because you're being required to do things maybe you haven't had to do yet this season. So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, is it 50-50? Is it more one or the other? Just trying to get through these 15 games without losing your mind and throwing something down an escalator?
5 games a day is not physically demanding. So basically let your hand heal up a little bit, if anything else. And in some ways, now that everyone knows that the scoring pace is not high, it limits some of the things and how much you have to chase. Now, the guys that don't have the ability to rely on really fitting it into a spot shot after shot are going to do a lot of looking around and chasing balls around. But, the guys that have been around this building before and have seen it when it's hard, that it pretty much stays hard. And the fact that 64 guys are making the cut, you don't have to really chase big scores all that much. You just have to settle in and grind a little bit and find a way through the tough pairs and take advantage a little bit of the good ones. So I think it's much more a mental process this week than it is. You have to think a lot. You don't get to stand in one spot and hit them going across the house, and they're never going to develop enough to where it becomes, just move in and kind of wheel it over to the transition and the breakdown. So that certainly didn't happen this morning. I guess we'll see if that happens later on, but it doesn't look likely.
Well, and now we're watching a pretty solid group of players here on 59 and 60, varying styles, and a lot of head shaking going on. Tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here. Wes looks like he's perfect on the right lane, unable to throw a strike on the left lane. But Brad Miller, Chris Sloan, Jerry Mars, these are some talented players. But tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here. And again, we're in
nice.
Game 2.
It must be nice to have a good cross like that. But this was also my starting group, and I also struggled on this pair. I had the opposite problem. I struck quite a bit on the left lane. My one strike on the right lane was surrounded by two ring 10s on the left lane, but the right lane was the one that gave me trouble. I had a 210 and a 4.9 on it, and shot 170. And so it'll be interesting to see how well the players break down their first two pairs. I think there's opportunity for some of the good crosses to do that, but so far there's not a very defined place to play. So even some of the really good crosses have guys playing in three different places. And so unless that shakes out, there's going to be, real no advantage to having a good cross and getting two pairs where you get to follow yourself in practice.
Well, Chris, we have Mike Flanagan here with us still hanging in, and he and Jason Thomas had a nice, I don't want to say a heated conversation, but a very knowledgeable conversation about some of their picks for the week. And your name might have come up once or twice. And Michael, any thoughts for Chris while he's here? And
before he gets into that, I want to say, of course, Matt, you're my favorite, of that bunch by a lot. And after listening to a little bit of that conversation, Mike is a distant third behind Jason, and out of the trio of you, and then Aaron. I just never see Aaron, so
I appreciate
he's still ahead
that.
of Mike. He's actually ahead of Mike still, but not by that much. So.
I do appreciate that greatly. Aaron's actually
a slim victory right there. I'll take it.
There you go.
Aaron is the brains behind the scenes, keeping everything moving along, just so I can just sit here and talk all day. So much appreciated, but for you and for him for his hard work. And Mike Flanagan, defend yourself.
So Aaron is your stew. That's what you're saying. So
how about that? That's tough right there.
Stu is our brains, and he actually does all the talking. I really don't have to do anything. It really could just be the beef and beef show. So.
That'd be a lot of beef right there.
It's a lot of beef. So it's less beef than it used to be, though. Yeah, it's down about 35 pounds. It's slim beef, lean beef.
Lean beef. I like that.
There you go.
The lean beef and Barnsey.
There we go. More 80-20 than 70-30. So.
Well, it's no secret that Chris has issues with authoritative figures, so that's why I'm a distant fourth. But Chris,
that's so cute that you think you're authoritative.
I know,
like that.
I know, and I guess I could do everybody else's job here. For those of you that have just joined us, that voice you hear is Chris Barnes. If you're just joining us, and he's in his hotel room very comfortably over at the El Dorado, I believe, because he won't pay full price and he's got hookups over there. So, thanks to the Row for hosting us here, by the way, as well, a presenting sponsor, which is wonderful. But Chris, yeah. I was trying to stir the pot a little bit, and I'm not going to back down to what I said or anything just because you're on the air. But, I'm looking a lot out of Norm Duke this week. And he looked pretty good out there, and I like where you got to keep your ball in front of you. And I thought you bowl well also, but I know Jason Thomas and you have a very special relationship, so I wanted to make sure that I could get in on the other side and create this storyline for the week. So I did also say, though, the one positive thing you can take, because I do always make sure that I cover all my bases, that I would love to see nothing more than a Barnes-Duke final, and that Jason Thomas and I would drink wine on the approach and live stream ourselves calling the match. So I hope that happens, and then may the best man win.
I'd be good with taking my swing there. I don't disagree with your call either, and I thought your points the other day were spot on. That one of the of the few tournaments we've been able to, or it's been the preferred way to bowl, is keeping it in front of you, or even an option. Norm's bowled very well. There's just not a lot of those tournaments these days, and so with this week being on the fresh, essentially the entire time, I would expect. I also expect him to do very well this week. I think Walter may have retired a week early as well. Judging by how he was able to play last week at different times, or at the World Series, I think he might have had a pretty good go here, or at least a fair swing at it. No, nobody was more surprised than me to have Jason forget about Robert Smith for a full 5 minutes and actually talk nice about me. And I told him earlier I had to hug it out. I had a small tear in my eye. It was a very emotional moment for me to hear Jason speak in such glowing terms about anybody that wasn't Robert Smith. So,
now, Chris, all joking aside, this event is one that has eluded you in your career. You have bowled for the title on multiple occasions in this building, and we mentioned earlier some success you've had at the NBS in the past as well. But tell us your feelings on this tournament and what it means and what it would mean to continue the success. And of course, everybody wants to eventually get there. But talk about this being kind of a missing piece for you.
Well, I guess I don't have to now. So, no, I mean, this is there's not a whole lot left in my bucket list, and this is one of it. One of them, obviously. A win here would, 20 titles and the Grand Slam, and that checks off a lot of boxes. Been some disappointments here, had some great moments. My love-hate relationship with the stadium is it's ironic. Some of the biggest wins I've had and biggest moments I've had have been here at the stadium, and yet it always feels like it's a challenge and a struggle here. So the challenges don't end in this place, no matter what's going on, because of the size of the building and the uniqueness of the ends and the different pairs. And the fact that you don't actually have a double elimination final. But, I digress.
Certainly a fair point. For TV purposes, I'm intrigued to what Mike Flanagan is up to next. But before we get to that, we do have score updates after game number 1 available now on bowl.com. Leading the way here in the early going on A Squad after 1, DJ Archer, Brad Miller, and Tommy Jones all at 237. Charlie Brown, 230. EJ Tackett, 225. Kyle Sherman, Dan Higgins, and Zach Tackett all at 223. Daniel Robbins and Anthony Simonson, 222. Michael Martell, 221. Jason Sterner, 217. So
way higher today, this B squad than A squad. So, yeah.
Would not disagree with you right there. And I think we got to go back to the full screen with all of us right now, because I don't know what Mike's up to, but
I can't wait.
All right, Mike, what you got there?
Well, I found something right next to the booth here. This is a little bag here I just found, and I thought it was kind of fitting that this is we're going to give away a 900 global ball during this block right here. So I found this 900 global bag right here. I've been putting gum in these thumb holes, but it looks like we got a few balls here. What can you tell us about this? Is this one of the balls they can win, Chris?
The reality, I believe you've seen a lot of it on shows in recent weeks, thrown by several different guys. So that one is one that's definitely in play. That one will hook in a bucket of oil, and on some of these pairs, it feels like there is one down there. So that, among others, was definitely in play and will be in play the rest of the week. I'd prefer that you not really give away that specific one in your giveaway. To be fair, that's nice, Mike. Get your hands off my equipment.
There we go.
Probably not the first time Mike's heard that one.
Anyway, well, I thought it was a nice.
It is
plug.
for me.
Do you want to plug your brand right here?
Yes, Niner Global. That's what I said. We've had a great run, and obviously one of the things I like most about it is we have a basically a ball that covers every reaction. That so way different things from the hookiness of lanes to ones where you bowl in the fresh and you need control as well. So it certainly is a big advantage to have them behind me, supporting me, and and if I have a ball that matches all the different patterns you're bowling out here, then you probably have a ball that looks pretty good for whatever league condition and whatever your style is too.
And which one did you want me to take to 2,000 again during the break?
There's a couple of them actually. As long as you're offering, it appears you're not going to need a lot of polish for the rest of this week. So,
no,
Mike,
not at all.
Yeah.
And Mike, from watching your vlog, I know where the workout station is at. So now I know exactly where you have to go do that for Chris. So there you go.
You're right.
I'm actually good. Since it's like literally 4 feet from where you're sitting right now, you can just do them by hand right there and just tuck them back in the bag. It's fine.
Good idea. Dust and computers go really well together.
Yeah. Well, first world problems. So,
hey, I guess the other thing we should do, being the person of authority here, is we should allow the man to plug his show. He has his own show on the internet that was born out of COVID. And by the way, on his show, I drafted Michael Martell for a PBA league team, and he had a nice first game, out of the gate.
He did.
So just to
I'm going to guess his pair was also the last pair done. Just a guess. But yes, we do have, as you can see here, the Beef and Barnsey show, born out of COVID and some necessity of downtime. But Beef Stu Williams is my partner, the brains of the operation, and mostly the voice of the operation. So, and until recently, I was the bowling part, and then that hasn't really worked out. So we're working on that this week. But,
well, it's a great show. You guys do a great job with it. And if everybody hasn't seen it, you can go run YouTube and check out the Beef and Barnsey channel, and also catch you guys on Facebook, right?
We are on Facebook. We do have a YouTube channel. We put stuff on. We have merchandise now. So joggers and hoodies and T-shirts and polos. So all kinds of good stuff there. But it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of guys on there, and you get a peek behind the curtain on what happens from the players most of the time. Somebody from last week's show, and what they did and why, and ball reviews. There's a lot of different things. We kind of respond to what our audience wants to see from week to week and show to show. So we do our best to give you a peek behind the curtain.
Well, it's an awesome show. You guys do a great job with it. Everybody should check it out.
Thanks, Mike. I know that hurt to say. So,
I would definitely echo that sentiment. Have enjoyed the shows, and Chris, you've been going live on Facebook for quite a few things, not just the show itself, but bowling events, or if you're watching, your son Ryan compete for Wichita State. That's been fun as well, and of course, We're getting right to the end of the regular season. Actually happened just a couple days ago. I know they finished up with the Wichita State crew, captured a couple wins at the SWIBC to wrap up the regular season. But now that you're on, you spent the time with the Shockers. You had so much success over there. What's it like being on the other side now, being able to watch Ryan compete, especially with how much his game has progressed in just a couple of months after not necessarily bowling too much for a couple of years there.
Yeah, it's really been a lot of fun. I mean, he's really taken it serious for the last 10 months and gone from, I mean, he threw bowling balls, but he wasn't a bowler, to becoming, he bowled anchor on the JV team at the last event for the better part of the last day, which was, it's all baby steps, but it's a fairly big step from where he was certainly even 2 or 3 months ago. So it's a lot of fun. We have access to a lot of great guys, and guys like Belmo and Simo and Vi and a lot of the guys that know a lot about the two-handed game have chipped in and been willing to help him out. And I really appreciate all they've done. And so being a fan and talking through, and it kind of goes to what Ken Azaro talked about. We just about the easy or hard patterns he bowled in the tournament in Iowa last weekend, and they were really hard on day one, and minus 30 was the cut, and then day two the mechanic mistakenly hit the easy button and put out the house shot for the second day, and so the scoring pace went from 210 being a good game to 235 being an okay game, and talking through some of that and what do you prefer, and does it really matter? It's just really about identifying the scoring pace and then matching up your strategies to that scoring pace. And so, speaking of which, one of the guys I really enjoy watching bowling all the time, and Anthony Simonson here, because you never quite know what he's going to do. And sometimes I don't even know if he does, and his creativity is off the chart and how many different things he can make work. So it's a good lesson in what is possible lots of times watching him bowl, because he just kind of makes things happen.
I think that's an interesting way of putting it, Chris. And Jason Thomas mentioned it yesterday. He talked about Belmo and potentially Simonson kind of being next in line for just having that creative way of looking at things. And when you say that, for many of us out there, myself included, it all seems very arbitrary. It's you see the ball do one thing, you react this way. And I think for a lot of us, bowling on a typical league shot, you kind of get used to kind of operating in that fashion. When you talk about Anthony being able to be so creative out there, could you elaborate a little bit more on just what makes him so incredibly unique outside of the ability to go back and forth between a regular shot backup ball, throw a 30-year-old urethane ball to go to something brand new reactive and make that move like that. But how does he see the lanes that makes him such a unique competitor out there?
Well, I mean, he's bowled a ton, which obviously helps in that creativity. But how he sees shapes, I don't even know sometimes how he sees what he sees and makes it happen. But like right now, he's seeing a lot of well down lane, not able to get his ball back from a spot when he throws it right, and so he's just decided to use that as hold, and he's trying to throw it uphill, much like you talked about. What Norm is so good at, and guys like Frankie, who doesn't do it quite the same way. He likes to do it more from the track necessarily, kind of keeps it in front of him, but he's just he's trying to kind of throw it at the 3-pin and keep it on line, and he's one of those guys that can really put it on line and throw it hard and make it go straight, which is a pretty rare trait among guys with, they're two-handed that have the big rev rates. And so when you add that into his speed control and how much he can change his axis rotations and how open he is to try and make his ball shape in any way that he wants to, versus just instead of doing what he wants to do, doing what he thinks the lane is asking him to do.
An excellent rundown there of young Mr. Simonson. He's joined this game by Leonardo Apollonia, Philip Watson, and Scott Mathis here on lanes 57 and 58. Once again, live scoring available to watch across the house. We're keeping an eye on that as well as we look ahead to on game two scores, kind of seeing how the scoring pace is looking as Simonson does deliver the strike in frame number 3 after the open in the second.
Yeah, I left the washout there, and that's the 2-8, the washout. That's going to be a very tricky spare for the most part this week, because the middle lane does hook so much more than the right does, and how your strategies are going to go about making those is going to be a challenge for sure. What is Simo there? Plus 30, 38?
It's a little bit farther away there, but 35 it looks like.
35.
So 35 after 2, yeah.
That's a good score. So, well, we'll see how it happens as guys chase each other across here. This will be one of the tells. I can't tell. You guys can probably tell from there much easier than I can how much urethane is being used across the building. And
yeah, that's been we've been receiving varying reports across basically all the blocks so far, and Matt and I are in a similar situation as you, as watching remotely here. But once we get Mike and JT back, we'll see if they can potentially make a quick rundown there and see what's on the racks here. But definitely appears these guys trying to keep things in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're two-handed and you're bowling with Simons and you're just kind of, with relatively way less experience than even somebody as young as Anthony, they're going to try and do what Anthony's doing, especially since he's also 30 over, and that's a good score. So. Matt Canizaro. Nice. Right. Being nice to me on the private text here. Stu Bowl's, is Stu Bowl now or is he Bowl late? Yeah.
Great question.
So, he Bowl's late. That's something I should probably know. But
well, we know that you're already probably working on tomorrow's game plan, right? You went out there, you had some ups and downs today. So as you get ready for day 2, what's going to be different? What's the change in plans? What went well that you're going to do again?
Well, I felt like today I bowled, like actually bowling wise, I bowled probably better than I have for most of this season. I'd have rated maybe in the 7 and 7.5 range, which is unfortunately an improvement. I made a couple of bad choices where I got one in a little bit and it hooked on a lane and I chased it left, and that turned out to be, I cost myself the better part of a game. Trying to make that work, and I had a 25 frame stretch where I didn't have a double, so and about 4 or 5 splits in there. So trying to eliminate that part, getting the progression of which balls work together a little bit better, and really not relying a whole lot on ball reaction, but just just getting in rhythm and getting the ball, giving more opportunities for strikes, and knowing that 50 or 60 over is a good score. But we do have a plan to go down to one of the local centers, Rudy's place down the street, and probably get a few games in beforehand, and try and get execution wise, get as ready as you can before you go on bowling them really hard. So,
as much as we all love the NBS, big shout out to Rudy Moreno, High Sierra Lanes, a little gem in Reno, not too far from downtown, just a couple of miles south of the bowling stadium on Virginia Street. Nice little, I think it's 16, maybe 24 lanes. It's not too big, but
she's 16 and 20 is what 20. I was thinking. But
gotcha. But has always been a great friend to the sport, great ambassador for it as well. We've had our employee leagues when we've been there for the Open Championships, for the Women's Championships over the years. So always a great time over there. Great family feel. I think they still got Brett Wolf's check right above the front desk there. So big shout out to Rudy and company. High Sierra Lanes, definitely one of the top spots to visit if you're in town.
Yeah, a great guy, class act, and ironically, when I made the Shoot for the Stars show, the finals qualifying for that was in Sterling Village, which I don't believe exists anymore, but he was running that bowling center at the time, and that's when I first met Rudy. Was 32 years ago, I guess it was, a minute or two ago. Yeah, so looking forward to going down there and seeing him. A private message from Matt Canizaro with an unflattering picture. Just not nice. It's not nice at all.
Hey, we've never looked better than we do in that picture, Mr. Barnes.
Your voice isn't nearly that annoying.
I'm flattered. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. No, picture of Kermit the Frog and Fran Drescher next to each other. It's not an accurate representation. It is of me, but not of you. So, so we're going pure remote now. Yes, I know on this left lane, seems like he can get his ball to pick up and get it up the hill. On the right lane, it's doing flybys. So, it's hard to say what he's following Wes Brad Miller and who else was on that pair?
Jerry Mars and who was the Chris Sloan.
Oh, Sloan. Yeah, Sloan's normally out of urethane too. So,
well, now it's probably entirely possible to get 3 off the right and 3 off the left in the same frame on this pattern, depending.
Oh, I think you could take a bet that you'll see 3 off the right, 3 off the left before the end of the tournament. Maybe before the end of the day, if you haven't already. But I spent a fair amount of practice yesterday hitting the 3-pin and then going through the face and then making an adjustment and doing the same thing over and over again. So, so from where I was at yesterday, where I shot way closer to 100 under than even, I guess that was an improvement already. But yeah, it really wasn't that hard. If you got your ball kind of doing the wrong thing, and it looked a lot like Wes's did on the one lane, where you just get it going away and it never picks up, and then you get it going a little bit in front of you and it picks up like 10 feet sooner and never has a chance at hitting the pocket. And so actually watching your broadcast yesterday through practice helped me kind of see the picture a little bit better and of the guys that were it seemed to be having a little better luck through practice and try and commit to throwing it a little bit more that way. So which like you said, we haven't done in a while, so it was a little rusty, but was better than it had to be.
So just another benefit of Bowl TV and wire-to-wire coverage.
Speaking of Bowl TV, and
there you go. All right.
And you may have spoke about this already, but I'm sure someone you'd like to speak with though has just left a question in the chat. It's from Nick Hoagland. So I'm sure actually probably a few bowlers want to have a chat with Nick, but he did ask, did you throw urethane, reactive, or both today?
I threw a couple of shots with urethane in practice, 0 for score. There was quite a bit of it around me, and a lot of them bowled good for the first 2 or 3 games, not so much after that. I have revamped my strategy with urethane. Instead of using it basically to play straight, I brought one back out here that shapes quite a bit more, because that's kind of what the field tends to do a lot more of. For me, it's not all that useful here, but you never know. It may come into play before the end of the week, and hopefully the end of match play.
There we go, folks. Nick Hoagland swinging by, Chris Barnes answering questions, and we even have Mike Flanagan rejoining us here. So, Michael, there you are. You're back with us.
It actually almost felt like Nick was doing the lanes this week, like old school 2005, where you had a little speed bump down lane, because you get it going right. Your ball forgets to slow down on some of these lanes. That's for sure.
Now that's you mentioned both of those terms. Brett Spangler, and talking to him hey, that was a little bit earlier today. Everything's starting to run together already, and it's only day one of actual competition, so that's a bad sign. But Brett had mentioned having that mid 2000s feel out there, and in his vlog a little bit earlier, Brad Miller referenced the speed bumps. So it's you bring both of those two worlds together, from a ball rep, from a player, different brands, everything coming together. You guys are all kind of seeing this, and I'm sure Nick is just kind of smiling and chuckling right now, thinking about it as well.
Yeah, I personally would have rather seen the number 4 pattern. I think I could be pretty good on that one, but I'm sure a lot of other guys would be too. So, yeah, I sort of miss Nick. I mean, I did not have my best years on tour with Nick as the lane man, but I did enjoy. I did enjoy talking to him and learning from him about a different philosophy. Looking at building patterns.
Simonson
actually
delivers
used him a
strike
couple of
there
times to help build my pattern for my youth tournament. So,
Hey guys, down on lanes 1 and 2, Michael Martell and Jason Stern are bowling together. And if you look at the standings, you will see that Michael Martell is currently 46 over and Jason Sterner 71 over. And they're bowling pretty good again this game together. They have Martell. Well, he just big forward. I'm assuming that's what a 6 with a circle through it is. So you're welcome on the black cloud without even watching. So he's got 241 left. Looks like maybe a little more than that. And Jason Sterner going, he can still bowl 258 with the 9th and 10th left.
yeah, it's always been one of my favorite pairs. It's but mostly because it doesn't feel as downhill as a lot of the rest of the building does. You can get your ball back from some better spots, but when the lanes are hard, it doesn't really help you out a whole lot. If the back end hooks more. So I don't know how advantageous hitting that pair will be, but Vi, when he hit it earlier today, that's kind of when his run slowed down, was on that pair, and didn't look very nice for them. So I don't know exactly who they're following. That's part of my job for tomorrow is to track a little bit more of who we followed, and then because we can't use electronics and notes I have on my phone from different pairs, is to get some of that information transferred over before we start tomorrow on which pairs we're hitting and how some of those have played in the past.
Hey, Chris, part of my job responsibilities here this week is to capture and look for 300 games. I was curious about how much time you think I should invest out of my daily schedule searching for 300 games here. And will we even have one? If I set the over-under at a half, would you take the over or the under?
There is no over until match play. And I think you would spend way more time in chasing Tom. Chasing 100 has a way better chance than chasing 300. So, up to you. Prioritize your time how you like. I think that's the better way to go.
Now, here's the other question, though, that's very fearful and creates a lot of anxiety for us media guys. Is what if on the chance we take your advice, and it's the same advice I gave myself in the mirror this morning, and one actually does get bowled and we don't capture it? Is that an epic fail on our behalf?
I can answer that one from experience. That absolutely is an epic fail. We tried that route. One year we thought that we wouldn't focus too much on that. We were going to do some other great content and some features and do all kinds of good stuff to talk about the event and show it from different perspectives. And then we ended up missing one, and it was like the whole world ended. Unlike 2020, but in a different way. So that changed. We pivoted, as we've said a lot in the past 12 months. We pivoted immediately and then spent much of our time walking up and down the concourse to make sure that we did not miss another one the rest of the way. And Well, unfortunately, we did one more time throughout the week, but so the answer is you do not want to miss that under any circumstances, especially if there's only one or two or even a couple close calls.
To be fair, it shouldn't be that hard. I doubt anybody even had the front six this morning. So, most of your job can be over relatively quickly. Now, however, chasing 100, I believe we had a couple of serious runs at it today. And I don't expect those to be the end of that run.
Now that we've workshopped this so much, you guys do realize the next game we're going to have a sweat.
Well, earlier today, Matt Sanders gave us a little bit of excitement, right? I believe it was the front 7 or 8 to get going there. Had a nice 250 game early, and obviously nothing transpired there, but a close call nonetheless.
That was Stu Williams' pick. That was Stu's pick to bowl well in this event today in the pizza line last night. Matt Sanders.
Yes. Not quite the way I heard it, but in your stir the pot agenda, I do believe you succeeded.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Although by history, you weren't exactly going way out on a limb.
No, it's the PBA league strategy that I have.
That's different. So, PBA league strategy.
I hope you have me back for another one of those in the future.
I hope they have one in the future. So, PBA league canceled for this year, so hard to tell what may happen next year. So
that's true.
Oh, we have some live scoring. I have a live scoring update. We had a chasing 100. We had a 3 spare in the 10th to get to 107. Needed the spare to get there. 3 on the first ball. A little tense. I got to think shooting that spare. So that was somewhere in the teens, though. I think that was off camera. I, like many people, are hoping that we get back to having cameras on all the pairs so we can watch whoever our favorite pro or amateur is throughout qualifying. How will that work for the matches? Will there be cameras on all the pairs for the matches?
We will miss a couple of pairs, and the reason being for that is because of the cleaning and sanitizing of lanes. Traditionally, we could put 4 lanes to 1 camera and use scoreboard cams, but because of the amount of pairs that you see on screen that are out of play, just like you're watching right now, we've got 2 lanes covered, but technically you can kind of see 6. Zoomed out, you could get to 6, but there's no action on them whatsoever, and it's like that throughout the entire event. So
if we skew it over and you catch the pair on the right and the pair on the left, does that make it a possibility?
Yeah, it gets real small. It gets real small.
Yeah. No, I know there's drawbacks, but
and the scoreboards.
Yeah, it's tricky. You have to go to full screen to see anything. The good news is here the scoreboards are actually pretty sizable. But yeah, I get it. The dead pairs in between provide some challenges for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, I do appreciate you trying to make Mike do extra work there, and Jason Thomas as well. So that would be I applaud this initiative. But
well, let's be honest, it's going to take a much better man than me to get to break through that thick exterior. So that is a well-honed craft over many years that I don't think I'm not going to be the guy to break through there. So
Well, we do have another great individual who just joined us and is going to hop in here for a couple minutes to chat with us. So we'll keep the Wichita State theme going with Mr. Josh Blanchard joining the show. So there we go, all 5 of us living the dream right here. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We are doing well. We're watching some bowling here at the Masters, having a good old time. Got Chris Barnes, we got Josh Blanchard, Mike Flanagan, Matt Cannizzaro, and somehow I'm still here. But it's great to see you, Josh. We talked a little bit about you. We watched you during one of the games a little bit earlier today. So just for the folks at home who may have not heard the news, your bowling path has been a little bit different as of late.
Yeah, I got an A next to my name now. I'm an amateur. Yeah. Keep laughing there, Hall of Famer.
No problem, Lieutenant.
Yep. I stepped away from bowling full time on tour and took a position with the PBA in a managing role for them. So I'm still in the bowling industry. I'm happy to be, but just not out here full time anymore with these guys.
So that's the USBC Masters, an open event, if you will. So coming back, being able to kind of get into that competitive mode again. What's that kind of been like for you here these first couple of days? You managed to go even today, which was it seemed like a very daunting task in A squad. So what was that? What was it like being back in that grind?
Oh, it was good just to be back and have those juices flowing. I think as a competitor, you're always going to be happy to have those juices flowing. That's kind of what we did, or what I did for 10 years. So it felt nice. It took me about 3 games to get my feet underneath me. A little bit of nerves. They're not very easy, so it's even harder to get comfortable when they're not very easy and you're shooting 5-6 pairs a game. But the last couple of games, I started to feel comfortable, and so it was a good block. I think even was good this morning. It seems like these guys are hitting them a little harder than we did, but you never know. Every squad's different.
All right, we're making the move here. This is the end of game 3 already, so we've been cruising along, wasting no time to get to game 4. So competitors have the opportunity now to move to the next pair. This is one of the big jumps, I believe. So folks making their trek across the 78-lane National Bowling Stadium. So we'll find another group to watch this next game coming up.
Hey, Aaron, while you're doing that, I want to speak to Josh a little bit about the job he's been doing with the PBA out there on the West Coast. Josh, I can see you're trying really hard out there. I think I've seen more updates about your events and you promoting your events more than I've seen it in some time. So in your new role, what are some of your goals and objectives to grow the West Regional program for the PBA? And how is that going in general thus far? Are you really enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it. It's there's different challenges. This pattern is challenging, but also trying to schedule events with COVID has been more of a challenge than anything. My first initiative was to continue the events that there's been a lot of long-standing events on the West Coast, and some of them 20, 30 years the events have been going. So happy to keep those traditions going, but also bring in some new centers and some new venues that we haven't had. And I'm just about to announce another stop we confirmed this morning in Boise, Idaho. We haven't been there in over 10 years. We're going back to Salt Lake. Haven't been there in 14 years. So just trying to bounce around and get some different places, and maybe get some more members and some more interest from the bowlers on the West Coast that are in some of those untapped markets.
I've always said that whenever you can get a bowler in a position of power within the industry, you get a little extra effort, so to speak, because you just have that passion and that willingness and that extra gear to do a great job. And so when I heard about you getting into that position, I thought that was a really big win for bowling and really unselfish of you to kind of put your career aside and do something to contribute to the sport. So kudos to you, man. I
appreciate it. It's kind of just, it was a perfect storm and worked out the way it did. And I'm happy to work for the bowlers and work for the PBA. And I like the direction we're heading. And like you said, I'm on the side of the bowlers. I'm always going to be, since I was out there for so many years, and it's so dear to my heart. So I'm just happy to be there and fill those shoes.
Yeah, and they've been some pretty big shoes to fill as well. And I'll bring in Chris on this one. Gary did such a great job out there. Josh's got some big shoes to fill. But do you agree? It's great to see a bowler taking over that position.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of the hardest things to do that we have is continuing on a long tradition like that, and to follow someone who had so much respect within the community around the country, even though he was primarily the West region manager. So I think he always did a great job. By the way, watching practice yesterday and Sean and EJ bowl together, I would have thought those scores were reversed. Sean being 70 under, he struck, it seemed like every time I watched him in practice, and EJ looked like he didn't know which side of the head pin he was going to miss on. And it's flipped around. So, yeah, I guess, anyway. But going back to that, to be fair with Josh, though, it's not going to be an accident, his success. He's put in due diligence. He put in a year before he ever took the job, going around and helping us establish those relationships and keep those ties moving forward. And, his work ethic over the years is going to serve him well. And whether it was bowling, throwing a ball, or working and at pro shops and all the other things that he's been involved in, he's been successful at all of it. So it won't be a surprise to me, and I'm happy to have somebody solid that's going to keep and hopefully grow that West region up again as best you can with everything going on out there right now.
Yeah, it's funny, we got you guys on at the same time, and you're one position apart very early in this event. It really doesn't matter, but bowling even for Josh and -3 for Chris, and both of you guys being traditional one-handed, what people like to call shot makers. I know some people take offense to the shot maker calling because everyone is a shot maker, but similar games and similar scores today. Would you guys say that your games are pretty similar? And Josh, did you look up to Chris at all? Did you model your game after Chris? I've never asked you that question.
No, I didn't model my game after him. Not at all. Chris has been, since I went pro, Chris has been an influence for myself in my career and been a great friend to not only myself but my family. So I consider him a good friend, even though he can be a little hard-headed at times, but so can all of us. But in college, no, I didn't mirror my game after him or anything. I admired what he could do with the ball and the different parts of the lane he could play. And for that part, it's unbelievable to watch him and to get to compete against him all those years. But I think that this pattern suits our style a little more than the hook 'em and go get 'em approach. And I think that both of us will probably have pretty good success this week based on our ball roll and the way we like to attack the lanes.
Now, you mentioned college there, Josh, and I think we have a unique opportunity here, and especially with the collegiate postseason, getting ready to get underway here. Sectional announcements coming up tomorrow on our YouTube and Facebook channels. But, we have 3 different eras of shockers here, 2 on the broadcast, 1 on the lanes right now. So we got Chris from, we'll just say the 90s. We got Sean from the 2000s, and we got Josh.
Later 2000s.
You're the youngin' of this group. You're the later 2000s here. But, we had Ronnie Sparks, who was one of your teammates during that 2010 season when you guys won in El Paso. And I made a bold claim on the Inside the OC podcast that day that I thought that 2010 team with you and Zerbinski and all those guys was arguably the best college team in history. So Chris, I would just knowing how much you appreciate the history of Wichita State and all the great things you've done there, would your era be able to take out that 2010 team?
Oh, I think I agree. I think that team is at least top 5 of all the shocker teams anyway. I all kidding aside, of course, everybody thinks the era they're in is better. I bowl on a team with Healy, Garber, Lonnie Wallachek, and I think it was Dan Dick on that team, I believe. And we had a couple of teams that were pretty good as well. I think maybe the best team of all of them, and maybe not while they were in college, but kind of over time, was the Scroggins brothers with Jack Jurek and Mark McDowell. That's a pretty tough one.
That was a West Texas team, correct?
Yeah, that was a West Texas team, and long before I bowled in college either. But when you look back at it, and media being much different then than it is now, it would have been a big deal had everybody known, what those guys all turned into being tour titleists. That was a pretty solid group. Yeah, I mean, that team certainly would be in contention for one of the most talented teams around.
Weren't you on the mic that day, Chris?
No,
Didn't you?
I don't
You
believe
didn't call
so.
that one? Oh, I thought
It
you
wasn't
called
in
that.
El Paso. So
All right, never mind. I was wrong.
I don't think.
I thought you were, but
Well, I wasn't in
when
El Paso for one of those.
when you turn 50, I guess it's hard to remember all the TV shows that you've done.
Well, I mean, despite the fact that evidently it was the greatest team ever, it didn't really bring a.
Hey, Chris, I got a question for you. Chris, have you made more shows bowling or announcing?
No, bowling, not even close.
But yeah, it's not close actually.
Not even. He
So,
might have the same amount of shows calling as he did playing putt-putt, but definitely when bowling's involved, he's got more bowling.
shows and titles are probably closer than shows than announcing and.
By watching the squad, I'm just surprised watching how deep EJ is and how well, obviously, it's working. 50 over for the first three. It's
I mean, he looked like what a lot of guys look like when they went left. He looked like he could miss the head pin right or go through the face, and that was basically the two choices.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, we'll see. Yeah, actually, my son has chipped in. He's listening to us too. He says Briley Hoffman, that's Ted, said he thinks his team would beat them all.
Always.
Which is ironic because they finished 9th the week before, and I told him, "Oh yeah, I remember that time we finished 9th in a tournament." Oh wait, no, that never happened. And that was when there was actually the whole country there, not just whatever 15 teams showed up for the Leatherneck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you're lucky I'm not your coach and Steelsmith is, because he's a way nicer guy than me.
Whether we go down and say that we could have the greatest team, I think that what Aaron was touching on, that event, the championships in El Paso, was probably the most dominating performance at nationals ever. I believe we only lost one game out of all the matches, and they were obviously best of fives or best of sevens. We only lost one game the whole tournament. So I could just say that that's probably the best run you're ever going to see at that event from a team.
Right.
That's a hard format to win.
Yeah, the formats I bowled in, we had total pins and all that, and
Yeah.
I mean, our claim was we led by 600, but we didn't win. We lost the 2-game Baker match, and so in some respects that kind of disqualifies us, I guess, because we never won the national championship. But yeah, the best ofs and having watched those and how hard that is, it's pretty tough. What's Sean need to do here?
Sean looks just get out of that ball, I think, because it looks like it's early, and then when it was forcing him left, and then he kept washing out, and then he moved on top of it, and it hooked immediately. It looks like he's trying to talk to himself about his hand, but I think it's more of a ball change than it is his hand.
And you can speak to this too, but I think actually bowling with EJ is working against him because EJ obviously is bowling well, and now Sean's trying to hook it instead of doing what Sean's really good at keeping it on line up the lane. In
front of him, yeah.
And this week, maybe as much as any week, and he makes it work on a lot of weeks when it's not really the best option. Yep. And so I'm a little confused as to why he's trying to hook it so much when it's hard to hook it anyway.
Yeah, I think that line that he was on was closer to where – so that's the EJ from yesterday that you saw.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He got to 22, and if he got it to 8, it kept going right, and if he gets it to 10, it goes through the face.
Yeah.
Like the window's so small.
People can sit at home and obviously be the Monday morning quarterback, but I don't know if there's a perfect area on the lane to play. You got to pick what matches your game that you feel you can hit the pocket and get 9 or 8 and not split. Obviously, EJ's feeling that 22, 23 range is better for his game, and it's worked well before. But for me, staying around 10, 11, 12 was pivotal, and keeping the pocket in play, because if I moved to 20, exactly what you just talked about, I could miss the head pin either direction.
Yeah, I spent about 40 minutes of that 60-minute practice session doing it. So Yeah, here we go. He's
Same ball.
still the same ball. He's just going to make it go straight.
Yeah, it just
That's a really high RG ball with a big cover.
Yeah, but
And
that
so I'm
cover's
not
just
sure-
bogging down. That bogging.
I'm not sure it
bogging
makes
down.
sense because
Yeah.
still, if he gets in front of him, it's not going to stay there. It's going to try
Nope.
and tip.
Yep.
And again, 3D view, when you can see from behind, you see so much better than you do from the foul line. So
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
know it sounds like I'm second guessing him, but obviously I've made the same and similar mistakes 1,000 times, and only 90% of them were on TV. So got that going for me. But
yeah, that for me,
when you
the
get
high
crossed
end.
up and chasing, it gets tough when you're chasing. You start doing things you shouldn't. Chances you wouldn't take if he was even right now.
Yeah. For me, that high end, once you get past the 50s, it hooked so much earlier and so little down lane compared to the low end. And the low end, you felt like you could maybe open them up a little more, have a little more down lane motion. But this higher end in the 50s, at least practice yesterday and today when I bowled a stellar 152 game, the high end just hooked early and it just had no forgiveness on the back end.
Yeah,
you guys don't have any
where I
cameras
started.
on the low end.
I made the flood. So,
yeah. This squad seems to be hitting them a little harder than ours. Surprised.
We did just get a score update through game 3, and at the moment, it looks like 21 players on B squad, plus or better. All right, I guess even or better. Because if you're plus, you're already plus. You can't be better than plus. But leading the way right now, Jason Sterner at plus 85, Michael Martell plus 79, Kim Bolabai plus 67, EJ, as we mentioned coming into this game, plus 48, Wesley Lowe plus 45, Justin Veitch plus 43. I might have said that wrong, so I apologize to Justin if that's the case. Marshall plus 40, Matt Russo plus 38, Zach Tackett plus 36, Michael Rubin plus 30, Brad Miller plus 29, Dan Higgins plus 27, and it's going to go on like that for a while. So a lot of folks in that low plus range, all the way down to Arturo Quintero at plus 1 at the moment. Yeah. So definitely a variety of styles, a mix of lefties, righties, two-handers, high rev guys, low rev guys. So it's there's certainly a way to get there.
Lefties still look like they're doing pretty good. There's a lot of them up there. That's for sure. I bowled next to a couple today, and I didn't think they looked very easy on the left. So I didn't bowl anywhere near Gary Faulkner, but they didn't look any good on the lefties around me. That was a nice shot by Rash. He moved about 3 and 3 left. See, Kim,
I think he'll scramble out of this block. I'll bet he gets to probably 20 to 30 under before this is over. Has himself in position going into tomorrow.
You talking about Rash?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I think so.
So last night I was watching your C Squad practice bowl TV, and you guys were talking about your amateur picks, and 2 of them look pretty good. Somebody picked Klompkin and somebody picked Dan Higgins. I think they're 2 high amateurs right now. So you guys had some good picks last night.
Gosh, somebody picked an amateur that made the show like 2 years ago. What a daring pick!
that was I believe that was Mike Flanagan. So I will throw him under the bus.
Flanagan picked Klompkin. Yeah.
Flanagan's never afraid of a bandwagon. That guy, he's on it.
But yes, we had our picks. Tennille was actually the one who jumped in and got Dan Higgins before anyone else could. We gave Matt the last pick, which was rude of us. JT and I both went on the younger side. I went with Cameron Crowe, JT Spencer Robarge, and Matt. I'm trying to remember who you grabbed for that. Who was your pick for that?
I think I danced around it, and
you went young.
I talked about the Junior Team USA kids and just
Cortez.
see them step up.
You picked Cortez.
And Jason took Spencer Robards, talked about Anthony Nair for a minute. Just watching those guys, traveling the world a little bit, watching them compete, and then seeing them do some of the things they do, here and at the US Open and at team trials. Pretty impressive, but I couldn't settle on just one, so I went with Junior Team USA as a whole and totally danced around it.
Real quick, there is a Chasing 100 opportunity down on 55. So,
Speaking of which, have you guys ever played the game with Dale Ballard Jr.?
No.
That is so much fun. Sometimes he'll walk around to entertain himself, and the goal is to get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spare strike in a game. And if you throw a foul at some point in there, it's a perfect game, and it's the most awesome thing ever.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a 1 through 10 going on down there, but it is certainly a tricky game he's got going on at the moment.
Someone to the right of me this morning had a perfect game without a strike. They had a perfect 1 through 9 through 7 frames today. I don't know if I've ever seen that accomplished through 7 frames, but it was not pretty.
The perfect game through 7. That's at or near the record as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
What was it? Are they done already down there?
With what I know Cortez can do with urethane, since he lives in my city and I used to coach him for a while, he can make a urethane curve just like two-handers. I like Matt's pick there. I think that he's going to be able to kind of knock him pretty good here with urethane and not get out of it. He had a good run 2 years ago at the Masters. I think he made the top. He won 2 or 3 matches and then ended up losing to Andres Gomez. But I like his chances. I really do. That was a good pick, Matt.
And Cortez has really only gotten better. World Championship a couple of years ago, World Youth, and now the ability to be at the B3 Performance, the training center, and get in there and get some work in, and growing up a little bit. I think he definitely has some game. Anthony Nyer coming out, joining the PBA, and of course, Jason talked about Spencer and what he can do, but some super top young talent out there.
Yes. A lot of young kids here yesterday that had no idea who they were.
Is that the first sign of getting old?
Hey, maybe. I'm not catching Chris anytime soon, but there definitely some people that I never heard of, and then I say those things, and I'm like, "You never heard of him?" No, actually, never heard of him. Who is he? So.
Well, Chris, I'll throw this one to you as a young guy and an up and comer. Spencer Robarge is someone you've not only had the opportunity to see progress, but you've had the opportunity to coach him as well through the USA Bowling program, win a national championship, which was pretty cool a couple years ago. And Spencer is racking up Storm Youth Championship titles left and right. He's shooting 300 and 800 every other week. We continue to have to update the records, it seems. But what makes him so special at, he's been on our radar for a while since winning the U12 at Junior Gold in 2015. But what just makes his game so special? And, how good can he be out here when you look at some of the other two-handed lefties and thinking of their accomplishments? What's kind of the ceiling for Spencer, in your opinion?
Well, I think he's one of those few guys whose ceiling is basically with the best in the game. What happens after this, I guess, will be that'll be a telltale. Wesley Lowe, once upon a time, I thought was kind of the same way. He struggled here a little bit, and there's a lot of things that go with the expectations from being a phenom, where you're the best player a lot of times by quite a bit, to where that talent gap narrows in college, and then gets extremely slim no matter how good you are at the pro level and how you deal with that. But he doesn't really have much of a ceiling. He can really play. He's got good speed control. He's pretty accurate for a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid. And he's not afraid to throw it when it matters, that's a hard thing to teach. Not everybody has that, for sure. So, done a lot of he's done a lot of things really well, and had a lot of success, and he's used to having success. And obviously, by the clothes he wears, he's not afraid of the attention either. So that won't be a problem for him.
Yeah, when I talk about Spencer, he reminds me of a European, where the Europeans, they get some taste of competition at a younger age than most of the time American youth bowlers do, because they stay youth for so long and they don't have youth bowling in other countries. And Spencer's put himself out there and bowled the Masters and competed at the US Open and done all those things. So he's getting that raw experience that's needed at that pivotal age of 16 and 17 to really break through and become a phenom. A lot of times, like Chris said, you start beating up on the youth bowlers in your area and think you're great, and then you take that next step, and that next step is a large step. And sometimes some kids miss that step, and we never see them again. But I think Spencer bowling these PBA events, and he's bowled some regional events and done well. I think that it can only do him good as he moves further in his career.
Yeah, he's been around some other pros and some other things too, so he's gotten some different viewpoints, and I think he's had a bigger goal in mind for a long time. So it won't be a surprise. He'll be going to Wichita State next year along with Brandon Bonta, who bowled with him and on the Storm on the team championship events, as well as and then Justin Bone is going to join them too. So they're going to be loaded here for a little while.
I would say so. That's it's a nice collection of young talent. The Shockers are piling up there for the next couple of years. So, along with Ryan Barnes as well. It's a great looking.
I knew he's going to enjoy that one.
Wow.
I know it.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry. Hey, you're getting better than your dad. I'm watching your videos, so keep it up.
Yeah. To be fair, my freshman year, I was the last person to make the C team. So, I started off in same kind of deal. I just played other sports. I didn't really bowl that much, and then got there and took it serious. And so you add in good coaching, and Steele Smith's a fantastic coach, and that environment, and he's hanging out with those varsity guys, and they're, by being around them and bowling, competing against them, it doesn't necessarily help your confidence a lot, but what the level of play is expected of you, and so he's not afraid to work. So he's improved in a hurry, and it's kind of fun to watch. I'm ready for it to be profitable too as a sponsor.
And Barnes, you've come a long way since that C team appearance, and now you're only one win behind Tommy Jones on the PBA tour, right?
Matt?
Oh, man.
Wow.
Man.
Wow.
Hey, good news, Flanagan. You moved up again. All right.
It's a rough crowd.
I'm telling you, not that I don't deserve it. So, but
you volunteered to do this?
And unfortunately, he's not wrong. Well, they haven't got my bill yet. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jason
got the game too, so this is really working out. We're stretching this out good. So.
We have hit that awkward state now in between games where we're waiting for everybody to finish up. The NBS staff doing some sanitizing as everyone gets ready to move to their next game. So I think this is a perfect time as any. And Chris, we can throw it to you to start throwing out recommendations left and right. But we're going to give away a 900 Global bowling ball to one lucky winner on Bowl TV here in just a couple of minutes. So we very thankful to 900 Global hooking us up with some equipment this week to give away. So we're going to do that here in B Squad, our one giveaway for the day. So folks, this is a time to tell your friends, hop on. Got a chance. It's so cool. And you can take home a 900 Global bowling ball courtesy of Bowl TV. But guys, we've had a lot of fun here so far. It's been fun hearing you guys kind of break things down as we've seen this pattern. We just saw Sean Rash and EJ, both 180s, 190s there. It seemed like this scoring pace still a little bit higher, but it's still certainly not out of this world here. So hopefully we can have you guys stick around for this final game. But is there anyone on this squad that you guys, if we got them on the pair, we can certainly bring them on. Is there anyone you guys are hoping to see here on B Squad that we can potentially check out in this final game?
Well, as my doubles partner, Tommy Jones, is always entertaining to watch.
How's he doing?
I don't know who else is at the top of the standings. Since I've been on here, I've been watching pretty much only this feed. So I am not as aware of the other.
If Marshall or Sterner, either one of them got on, that'd be nice.
Let's see. We do have Tommy on a featured pair. He's going to be on 57, 58. Who was that again, Josh?
Either Sterner or Marshall.
Looks like Sterner's on 55 right now.
Sterner's going to be on 45 and 46. We got Marshall on 41 and 42. So, Matt Canzaro, you're the tiebreaker.
I was not on a live feed, so that didn't work out very well.
I don't know. It's always a tough choice. Let's go with Sterner. We might be talking to him soon.
All right. He's also got Michael Martell on that pair, who's been bowling pretty well. So they're on 45 and 46. So let's see if we can.
Hey, the more left-handers we can watch, the better. So.
All right. Speaking of that, we're bringing in a third guest to take things away. So let's welcome.
This is deteriorating so quickly.
It's getting out of control. We're having a blast here, folks. Packy Hanrahan's going to be joining us next. So the Wichita State connection grows bigger and bigger. Packy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, this is only going downhill when you bring me on. That's for sure.
Well, we got two lefties at least. So
we're getting closer.
Yeah.
Canizaro taking a pay cut by not bowling this week.
I hope so. I hope the trend continues in C squad.
Well, I'm sure. The ramp's been there since '95 in this building. I'm sure it's not going away in the next, hour and a half or 3 hours.
Do you think when they flatten the lanes, it actually makes a difference?
Not so far.
Because I was told they flattened them, but
yeah.
The lefty, I mean, the lefties at least aren't running away with it, and you're, I wish they were.
Pretty hard to run away with it when your total pins don't matter there, Packy.
I mean, I'm just saying run away with it in terms of they're still all giving themselves a chance to miss this cut.
They're all going to be 50 or 60 in right now. So,
what's the projected cut?
After 3 days?
Yeah.
Oh, we're starting early. I like it.
Wow.
I need numbers right away.
Why? It's going to affect your ball reaction or what?
No, not. I mean, I hope not, but.
All right.
I just love to hear it. What do
I'm
you
going to go with 30 under.
30 under.
Hey, can you grab my jacket?
30 under. Dang. Is that
guess?
I would have said that after A squad. I think it's moving up slightly. And so, I think it's going to be way closer to between 10 under and 10 over. I want to be at 50 and not sweat it.
When do you bowl the last day?
Middle of the day.
Why did Martell just throw 2 shots?
I don't know. He looked like he hurt himself after throwing that second one. Probably not used to it.
I don't know why there are no names up where they're bowling.
Well, the names are there.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the feed. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see on ours. I can't see what Mike's first frame was though. If that's a strike.
Yeah, the live is right over. It's a 9 spare.
Yeah. Oh, it is 9 spare.
Yeah, he left like
They're talking to a tournament official right now. They both bowl in the wrong lane. That's why.
Oh.
That's why, because you can tell by the arrows. Him and Sterner both bowl in the wrong lane. That's
right.
unfortunate because
so he had to bowl the frame over.
That's unfortunate because Sterner rolled a 2-pin for a strike.
Yeah,
So
which
they
means
both
he had to pull the frame over. Also, they've adopted the same rules as we have now. So, guy in my pair today, he bowled in the wrong lane in the 10th frame.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I did it at the World Series in like frame 6. I just hopped on the same lane.
I'd like to bowl on this one, please.
Yeah, I was like, I just want more shots on the right lane.
I bowled out a turn in the Tournament of Champions, and it was because I was following Brad Miller, and there was a 90-second delay and nobody was on the lane. I assumed I was up, and I bowled, and he didn't make it to the pair until after I came back.
That's what happened to me, except all of us were there, just nobody stepped up. So I was like, it must be my turn on the left lane again.
Again.
Matt or Aaron, what do you guys got for a projected cut?
Projected cut number. I'll throw it to Matt first if he has interest in it, and then I will play Price of Right after that and go higher or lower.
I think I'd say people will start to figure things out. I would put it in the plus 50 range for.
Wow.
Yeah, I think things will start to fall into place for some folks, and it's only 63 out of 200 plus. So I think it'll get creeping higher, and I don't know, maybe that's even low.
I don't know. We were looking at some
Matt,
results.
to be fair, is watching his side of the lane. So,
What? There's only two arrows, right? And Martel's about to hit one of them.
Hopefully.
well, he better be to the left of it. But
Well,
Oh,
let's say this
God.
much.
that one
They were,
touched. You got to be outside of that first diamond. So
if we move back 2 years and go to 2000, or I guess 3 years, 18 in Syracuse, they were pretty hard in Syracuse as well. We did have 380 bowlers, and the cut score was only 50 over there. So I feel with almost half the amount of field, taking out 170 bowlers, and with having only fresh, because there you had the burn, and a lot of people
you had places to make score up.
Exactly. That's the reason I'm going with the score. If there were more people here, I could see 50 over, but I just don't know. Somebody might have a good block of 70 or 80 over, but you can also have a block of 80 under. So we'll see.
This is also the extra fresh. You get fresh, 1 game, 2 games.
On your side, it's just fresh and fresher.
It's just the same.
I don't know. On my squad, there's about 35 lefties, so I might hit a burn or two once.
Well, judging by how much whining goes on when you follow one, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I'm gonna be absolutely raging the whole time just because of that.
Hopefully you don't follow Jacob.
How come you put all the lefties on C squad? It's unbelievable.
Oh my God, I have to follow Scroggins.
I feel like Packy would love to follow me at an event, Aaron, and maybe you would agree.
You have a history, yes.
My wheelhouse is 500 grit, about as far left as I can go comfortably, which really just
sounds perfect.
Yeah, just helps you guys out immensely.
That's exactly what I want. Are you allowed to bowl USBCs? Like, do you need to get on a team? Because I think we got some spots open.
Yeah, your team is automatically get 0 though because he's a employee.
Yeah, but what about our bracket scores?
Wow. That's what
I'll
come
be
like that today. They'll come shoulder rolling forward over the top. 0 chance of hitting the side of the hip pin you're aiming for.
Are you saying his thumb came across it early?
About with a step to go. And I come from a place of knowing, not judging. So, I threw a few of those today.
And that
you feel your ball not hook a couple times, and you go, yeah.
Throw urethane?
No.
I feel like urethane is like the ultimate bailout where they just doesn't leave too many splits.
No, I have skills.
No, that's what I'm saying. For me though, who doesn't?
You have now. This is twice I'm going to be nice to somebody, and this is really starting to pain me a little bit. But you worked very hard on your skills, which is one of the reasons why you were drafted. Well above your 55th point standing.
Appreciate that.
And you work hard at it, and people notice. It doesn't hurt you strike a lot when you got it, but
yeah. I feel like guys look around and they there's bowlers that you've looked up to growing up and watching bowling, even for me who started super late. And for me, it was always, Parker. And then eventually as I watched more bowling, it became Rhino Page. So that's just, watching him do everything from every arrow kind of is where I wanted to take my own game. Just be able to be versatile and then not having the purple ball when I first came out on tour. So
yeah,
that helps as well.
I threw some balls that were earlier and a little smoother when I first came on tour, and it forced me to get a little more versatile at some things, much like you're talking about.
Yeah,
Sometimes your biggest favor is not the one it looks like when it's there, but
exactly.
This is pretty soft for Martell too. I mean, he can buzz it down there pretty good.
I'm surprised he moved right instead of just throwing it harder. For me, that happened in the practice session yesterday. Kind of what he's seeing. Like, I went down to 1 and 2 our last 20 minutes, and they hooked super early. And I tried to move right, and I started leaving like 3-7s, 3-7-9s, 3-6-7-9s, and I ended up just having to go back left and just throw it harder instead of moving right, because it seemed like right there wasn't a whole lot.
I'm wondering if any of your patterns at the U.S. Open next week are going to be this difficult.
I hope they all are.
One of them probably will be.
Now, Josh, what if Nick planned to take it easy on you, and then he just heard that comment, and all of a sudden he just got full like evil Nick mode, and
you know what? I'll be
going
in
to
this
go
exact
crazy.
same position next week. I'll be sitting on Bowl TV watching. I'm not bowling, so I just enjoy watching and seeing Chris fry out a couple shots in a row. That's what I'll enjoy doing.
I mean, last year's 37-foot flat might have been, in combination with that house, the hardest thing I'd bowled on and maybe ever.
That was the pattern I went the most plus on.
I watched it all day long. I already had score. I didn't have to chase, and still shot some. I don't know. Think it was triple digits under, but it was well under, and it was never a threat of not being under. It was.
That was the only pattern I bowled well on, and it was the reason I made the cut. Went like plus 20, made up about 40 spots on the leaderboard, and called it a day.
People plus for the day.
Yeah,
I think I finished like 3rd or 4th on the day.
And of course, I watched Bill O'Neill shoot like a 520 the last 2. Like, what? Huh?
Watch Norm just crush him.
Yeah. Crushing him was 20 over.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's a little how I felt this morning. I felt like, I was a couple of shots away from having to swing it, 30, 40 over, and that would have been a really big number. And
yeah.
I'm going to go on a prediction. I think that this cut is, whatever number it may be, there's going to be a tie for it. There's just too many bowlers. There's going to be too many bowlers too close together. I just don't know if there's going to be enough separation. There's going to be a lot of people probably between the plus 50 and minus 50 number, and obviously it's probably going to be somewhere in that range. There's going to be a lot of guys around that number, and so I have a feeling there's going to be a tie for the cut. That's just or 63rd, right? Because if Jacob doesn't get in, he automatically gets a spot.
We have even money and a roll off.
Well, Josh, you mentioned Syracuse being pretty tough, and that was actually a 4-way tie for 2 spots in 2018. So that's some extra bonus bowling right there. So if that happens, we'll be ready on Bowl TV for it. But folks, we've been talking about it a little bit. We'll get back to the banter in just a sec, but we're going to start our bowling ball giveaway. 900 global bowling ball available for you on bowltv.com right now. All you have to do is click submit entry when you see it on the screen there. It's a blue button. All you got to do, you might have to take it out of full screen mode just to be safe, but free bowling ball of your choice from 900 Global. You can't take one of Chris's from his bags, even though Mike Flanagan tried it earlier today, but we will be ready to go. So good luck, everybody. Josh,
my son signed up.
I don't know if you guys actually caught that, but Mike Flanagan did actually. He had his ball bag on his lap because it was right next to where our studio is set up. So he's getting ball reviews out there. Chris tried to get him to hit a few with 2,000, but it didn't quite come through the way we had hoped.
Yeah, I saw him pick up one of Chris's balls, and I was worried there was a thumb in it, and I know some bowlers, they freak out when you start touching finger holes and thumb holes.
So I'll touch on a little technical item here. Jason Sterner is throwing urethane, and I guess people at home would say, why isn't everyone doing what he's doing? Jason has a unique role, but he also has a lot of tilt. And if anybody doesn't know, tilt helps the ball get through the front part of the lane, doesn't really see the front part of the lane. If more people, if someone was playing the same spot as him, right-handed, and was rolling the ball and didn't have as much tilt, it's going to pick up a lot earlier. And it's either going to go through the face, or then you open up your angles one and you miss the head pin to the right. But with Jason's tilt, he's able to get that urethane ball through the first 20 feet of the lane before it wants to hook, and it stores energy for the end of the lane. And that's really what's, I believe, making a difference for Jason right now over anyone else.
And I think that's actually the exact same thing that Martell is seeing in the early part of the game.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, threw that one a little quick and fast.
Martell in the early part of the game, because he doesn't have tilt and he just tries to rotate it through the fronts. He saw the early hook, tried to move away from it, and split when he moved away from it. So I think he's starting to figure it out, just a little more speed. But Sterner does have that.
Seemed to be the key
follow.
on the left was avoiding the. I think Jesper had a 150 game, because there was quite a few lefties that were up at one point, and then but a lot of them hit a roadblock pair somewhere that turned into a mess, and Martell looks like he's got to grind through one here. That he's got one that doesn't want to come off the lip, and so it's bringing everything else into play.
Yeah, I had that game 3 today. I bowled 50 over the first 2 right on the gutter, and then got in the 50s, and the ball would not even think about moving one board off of the gutter. It just kept 210ing and bucketing and bucketing and bucketing. And you're going to run into that when you're crossing a large bowling center like this. There's just slight differences in topography, and all of a sudden it looked like you have something, and it goes away quickly. Was
that game 3?
Yeah,
so
game
you were
3.
57 and 8.
Yeah.
So you followed. That was our starting pair.
Yeah, it did not want to curve to the right at all.
No. 2 two-handers and both throwing urethane early. So
yeah, it was not pretty. So I was talking to a couple guys at lunch, and I just feel like you got to have at least 2 game plans. And when one goes away, you just bail on and go to the next. Don't try to fish around, because you try to stay in that zone and it's not there, you're going to bowl 170 or 160 pretty quick.
What is Sterner's overall score right now?
It's 90, 80 some or 90 over. Yeah, there's one of those fast to the right.
Yeah,
Sid Sterner's like 90 over.
Yeah.
Is he the
Right around
leader
there, yep.
on the squad?
It's quite a good score.
I got a report from JT that they actually had a breakdown on one of the pairs, so they're going to have a little bit of a holdup on the scoring update after 4 and 5. So the squad will be finishing a little bit later than the rest of them. So Packy might have a little bit extra break here before we get going.
Well, we needed a little extra time before that.
There's only 3 hours
late.
between squads, so yeah, there might be times to make it up. After 3, who was the leader?
Sterner 85
Sterner.
over.
Yeah, he was leading this squad.
10th on this squad?
No, he was leading the squad.
Leading.
No, but I said, what is 10th on this squad after 3?
I can look that up for you right now.
On this squad, 1, 2.
Looks like Michael Rubin at plus 30.
And then 20th?
A lot of math here.
Plus 2.
Probably gonna plus 2, yeah.
So
Brian.
give or take around that same even number then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's 3 guys at that plus 2, and then Arturo at plus 1 right there. So
Yeah. Our squad's going to be a little bit hard, which normally happens on A because you're the guinea pigs. The only thing that
also
really
thought-
happened is a right-hander didn't dominate playing one part of the lane, so there's not a clear-cut game plan yet.
I also thought that A squad might have been, in terms of top to bottom, there might have been one of the weaker squads. Like, I feel like every bowler who has a title is on my squad.
Except you?
Oh, no, yeah, that's never going to happen.
A lot of confidence.
Years from now.
You keep going to Kansas City instead of the regionals, it's going to be a while before you get to bowl the tournament champions.
Oh, that's a whole nother. It's tough when you got these amateur tournaments an hour and a half, 2.5 hours away, and then your regionals in Texas are 8.5, and it's for the same amount of money.
I understand. I mean, Tim Mack used to complain about not being on Team USA, but didn't ever show up to trials.
Same.
What's it worth to you? That's all.
Mackie, if you continue with having the year you're having, you're going to qualify for the RPI, so you might want to start bowling some regionals.
I know. I should.
That's not nice. He's about to fix that this week. So,
especially with that confidence of saying he's never going to win. That's really
I'll win.
confident.
I'll get enough opportunities.
He doesn't mean any part of that, though. Let's face it.
I definitely don't believe that.
East Coast pack heat. That's all. Fake
It'll be about eight days.
Oh boy.
Make it real soft.
Martel with a big turkey there, getting himself back into
splits.
that near 200 range. Sterner seems to be fishing for something here with 3 frames to go, so we'll see what he tries to figure out for the last couple frames.
Yeah, I mean, really, he just threw. I mean, he threw it bad.
Yeah.
The 2 shots and really got it going, really up the lane versus, or a little bit away. I mean, he got it away and then a little bit way away and a little away. So that was actually a little better again, 4 pins. So he should be able to make a move off that. Pretty good shot there. He really doesn't have a whole lot on this pair.
No.
So
that was the one thing.
My left-handed son would like me to be nice to left-handers. So.
That was the one thing I saw in practice yesterday. For as much as I feel like I get some as much as I feel like I get some good hits, I felt like I left a million flat 7s yesterday in practice, and just watching the guys around me, I was all right with it. I was like, I know I'm gonna get some hits, but
Stadium is one of those centers that's just hard to knock over the pins. I mean, it really doesn't matter who you are. They just seem, I don't know if it's the flat gutters or what, but they are not easy to knock over here. You could easily throw 2, 3 in a row, and then carry just goes away.
I just believe.
Oh, go ahead, Packy.
I just believe it physically cannot be harder than it was in Tampa to knock 10 down. That was unbelievable.
Now, one of the reports we got this week is also Brand's making new pins across the house here at the NBS. So that's
another factor.
No, it contributes to some 8 pins.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking them in for the women's championship.
And when is that?
That'll kick off April 23rd at the NBS. We'll run for a couple of weeks. USBC Queens will head there in May, and then Stadium will see the end of the women's championships until early July, and then back to being open for various events throughout the course of the year. So, but the women's championships April 23rd, Open championships heading to Vegas, South Point, and beginning of May, going through middle of July this year.
Good time to be out here.
The scorching hot weather. Gotta love it.
No, Reno's nice in the summer. Vegas on the other hand.
Oh, almost 7-9.
Back-to-back good ones for Martel.
Threw a good
carry.
Yeah, really, since the 5th frame, it's been pretty solid there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's called a dry heat, guys. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
You get that in Arizona year round.
Yeah, it's 95 in my house today.
Dry heat coming from the Arizona guy. I like that, Josh. I like that.
It's dry. When are we giving away this ball?
I can see some other scores, but I forgot that we were bowling on Martel's pair, so everybody else is done.
He's not that slow.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, he hasn't been out here long enough.
Excuse me? You were saying?
Shot clock violation.
Yeah.
Playing 46.
All right, guys. We're Chris. You've been doing so many nice things today, so you're gonna have one more opportunity here. We're gonna bring Jason Thomas back in to say hello. So JT, we got the whole crew. There's so many of us here on the side of the screen. It's anarchy.
It's kind of scary. I didn't bring my brass knuckles, so be nice to me, guys.
You got the Brady Bunch.
Well, I just had a quick, very simple. I didn't want to get into any fisticuffs with anybody, but I just had a very simple update. So the pair that we're watching right now, Jason Sterner's pair, that is the pair that actually had the breakdown. So they are only in game. This is technically their game 5, but they're actually going to go back and bowl game number 4 down on the low end, which is why we don't have score updates. But it's also, potentially, Jason has another game to go, forwards or backwards. So he could, shoot a big game the last game and end up leading by a lot, or he could end up under for the block. With what we've seen out here, it's anything can happen. But yeah, just wanted to let you know that these guys are actually only bowling their 4th game right now.
Oof. Yikes.
Tough.
That one hurts a little bit. He was doing a good job of bailing out a tough game, and that's going to make her a little sticky.
Is that 160 or 180 he's about to shoot?
60.
Oh.
Yeah. And this is his 4th game, so he was around, I think, 60 or 70 over, so it's going to put him down 30 or 40 over with 1 to go. So I was talking
that
about
changes things a little bit because Sterner's trying to bail it out, and like whether you bail zones or not and try something else depends on whether this is game 5 or game 4. So
yeah, it's game 4, so he'd probably get a fill ball here. He's definitely, you would think he's going to try something.
Just the one from Martell puts him at 167 to finish up, so he's going to get to, or he's going to drop to plus 46 right now.
Mm-hmm.
He was
one
up
more of
there, too.
those. Yeah, one more of those, you get to plus 10 quick. It happens.
This does.
Sterner with 2 lucky strikes and then 1 in the 9th, first one in 10. See if he can take advantage of it here and get to that 210. And he'll be right at Faulkner's score, 1 to go.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. This is a pair where he could have shot 170 or 180 pretty easy, and he's looking to turn this into a pretty good sized positive game.
Yeah.
Turn into 220 with another one here. So
214, right?
Mm-hmm.
214, yep.
That better hook. Oh. Still 2-0s. A good score. It's a great score.
For that start, yes.
Packy, where are you living now?
I'm living in Wichita. Just bought a house.
Oh, congratulations.
Awesome. Congrats.
Signed and then hopped in the car and drove straight here.
That'd be a beautiful drive.
Oh, just a whole lot of mountains and mountains and mountains. Not a whole lot else. Not even a whole lot of houses. Just mountains.
So we just got a report that EJ Tackett finished his 5th game, and he finished the block at plus 83. It's a solid start for a major champion who's won in this building.
All right, we're going to, as we wrap up here on this pair, as JT said, these guys are going to head over to the low end of the house, so we won't be able to catch their game 5. Everyone else just about done with game 5, but we have EJ ready to chat with us, so I'm not sure if JT has prepared him for our big group here. So EJ, plus 83, you're going to be joined by Aaron Smith, Matt Canzaro, Chris Barnes, Josh Blanchard, and Packy Hanrahan. So EJ, hello, how are you doing, sir?
Great. How are you guys?
We're doing well. We're having a good old time here on Bold TV. You just got off the lanes there, plus 83, a nice number. Just tell us a little bit about your experience out there for the 5 games.
Well, it's definitely not easy out here today. We knew that in practice yesterday. Lanes are very tricky. Multiple angles have been played. I know a lot of guys threw urethane playing straight. I was not one of them. I got Sean Rash from my pair, so we decided to, the 2 pairs we got to practice on, we tried to break them down to the right, try to play as straight as possible for as long as we could, and then I just ended up chasing it into the left and was able to put some good games together. We had 51 and 52 we bowled on was not good, and nobody on our pair even bowled good on that pair, so got through that 190 and then was able to finish out really well. So
I know we actually got to watch that game on 51 and 52. So I'll throw it to Chris and Josh as we kind of watch that game. Just some of your impressions of everything going on.
Well, we watched practice for a little while yesterday, and you had a reaction that a lot of guys did, where you looked like you could get it right and hit the 3-pin, or you could get it up the lane and go high. What did you do different today than you did yesterday?
I drilled some talent last night. Drilled 2 balls. So me and Brett talked and drilled a ball that I typically don't use. Forge flare is like a huge core, really, really slow cover. So that's what I started with today, to try to keep the ball in front of me as best that I could. And it worked out. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It got me through the first, game and a half, 2 games. And then I was able to move further left and get into some weaker covers. I got a little farther down lane and be able to do things that I normally like to do with my hand. So that really helped me the last couple of games be able to put some good scores together. Just being able to be in a part of the lane and having my hand in a position that I'm really comfortable doing.
So what's the reason that you have the plan of attack of trying to play farther in, where some guys like Jason Sterner, who's nearly 100 over, is playing straight? Just what you feel more comfortable with, or what's the reason for that?
Yeah, yesterday in practice, I tried to throw some urethane balls. I tried to throw several different bowling balls, and like Chris said, I had I could hit the 3-pin dead in the face, and I could miss the head pin left. So I definitely got away from that as quickly as I possibly could. I tried for a long time in practice yesterday to try to figure out something that would work there, but I just couldn't get my ball and my hand in a position that I could get a consistent reaction where I felt like I could hit the pocket more than once in a row. So towards the end of practice yesterday, I threw several different balls from the inside part of the lane and was able to get some different reactions out of those balls, but I was able to hit the pocket consistently. So that was kind of my plan of attack today, is start out the day playing as straight as possible with a ball that didn't hook as much, and then just keep chasing it in. And so far, it worked out today, and hopefully I can continue to do the same thing throughout the week.
For sure.
Yeah, great block. 80 over. Yeah. I think everyone would take 80 over right now.
I'm
kidding.
I am 100% pleased. I felt like I physically bowled good. Obviously, through the block, I threw a few bad shots that cost me some pins here and there, but overall, I physically felt good. I threw the ball well, covered all my spares, at least the makeable ones. And, you look back at the block, and that's all you can do is physically throw good shots and make all your spares.
Yeah, I think except for Canizaro, the rest of us would take 80 over and just sit on that total for the overall and be there.
Yeah.
So
I got one more question.
Sure.
So I was watching your brother game 3 or 4 up here, and he was using that same ball, kind of using the same attack. Do you guys talk a lot during your tournaments? Because he was using that forge flare and really just trapping the lane. And he had a really good look for, he was 30 over, and I think he had a chance at 230 going into the 10th before I hopped on here. Do you guys talk a lot?
No, actually, we'll talk about what we're seeing on the lanes, but as far as bowling balls go, we don't talk a lot because our roles are so different.
Yeah.
We're similar styles getting to the line just because we're brothers, but our roles are completely opposite ends of the spectrum. So, ball choice is way different for us. So we don't really talk about it that much just because we are so different. It's rare that we're in the same ball at the same time.
That's fair.
All right, EJ, we appreciate you taking a few minutes out for us. And guys, thanks for the questions there. Definitely enjoyed the insight. But EJ, we'll let you rest up for tomorrow. And once again, great block out there, getting to plus 83. And we look forward to seeing you the rest of the way out.
Thank you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and go try and drill some more talent tonight and see if it works in the morning.
All right. Thanks, EJ.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All
Poor
right,
guy. I
Jim.
hope something works out for him soon. So, been a tough go here, being in the top 3 for the last 5 years in a row. Yeah, obviously he made a move that and worked out. It'd be interesting to hear what Sean did different from yesterday, or why he got so far away from the game plan. And now we only saw him on one pair of practice, or at least I did. But why he got so far away from his strategy, which seemed to flip the score upside down.
All right, now,
Okay.
Packy, it's almost game time for you.
It's almost game time. That means I got to go. It's about what, 3.5?
You've been hanging out with all these talented right-handers, getting some tips, watching some bowling. I'm sure you had a great game plan as we've discussed going into tonight. But have you learned anything during the conversations and watching this block that maybe helped change things a little bit for you as you get ready to go and do your thing?
Not too much. I mean, watching the first 2 blocks, maybe a little bit, but seems like even on the left side, as much as Chris is going to dog it, it seems like the same story. You just got to make good shots, cover all your spares. No one's going to end up running away and going 100 or 200 over. So just a whole lot of good shots and kind of keep it simple, and maybe, have a solid B plan.
All right. JT says he has one more guest for us, and lo and behold, he is also from Wichita State. So potentially Steve Klompkin joining us here in just a moment. But as we wait for that, if we don't get the chance after that, I just want to thank all you guys for spending some time with us here on Bull TV for the Masters. Obviously, we just enjoy hearing the insight, hearing you guys go back and forth in this situation. So I just want to say thanks for, joining us, having some fun with us, throwing some shots, at us as well. We're here for a long time, so we need that excitement as well. So just a big thanks to all 3 of you guys for joining us here for a little bit.
Appreciate you guys having us.
Pleasure. Thanks. Hey, whoever that was.
That was Nick. It was Nick. I got headphones in, so he can't hear you. So feel free to say whatever you want.
Oh, it's way more fun when you can hear me. I don't need no blind shots there.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for your endless amount of hours you guys are going to work this week. So us competitors can actually watch the other squads. So kudos to you, and thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, sir. And feel free to come back anytime. Just let us know. And we'll be happy to even step out and let you guys run things.
All right. And we got him now. The Wichita State connection continuing. Once again, guys, if any of you do have to go, please let us know. Don't feel free, but we'll bring Steve in now. The USBC Hall of Famer, Steve Klompkin. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, pretty good. I was able to squeak out a few strikes at the end there for 190, so I'm smiling under the mask.
Well, we got a group of Wichita State guys with us here. We got Packy, we got Josh, we got Chris joining us here on the broadcast, along with Matt Cannizzaro as well. So obviously a lot of us talking about the last. The 2018 event was a tough event. It took a lot of grinding to get through that. And of course, you found a way to make it to the TV show. It was an awesome performance. It was fun to watch. So kind of looking at that and looking how tough it's been so far here in the early going. What kind of comparisons can you make to that experience so far?
Man, I would have to say, Aaron, tough and even tougher, because they were hard in Syracuse and they were equally as tough out here. It was one of those conditions where you just got to really try and find some way to hit the pocket on each and every lane. It was couldn't take any spares for granted, and just had to try and sort of work your way through. I went through a lot of different bowling balls and a lot of different strategies, and I'm just happy I got to plus. So,
what strategy did you use today that you thought was the best choice or your best reaction?
I would say, I don't know how many different strategies say that there were, but really it was like either keep it in front of you with urethane and keep it straight, just almost as straight as you could go for me. And then for me, just if you did open it up just a little bit, you just had to have the right touch on it. If you got around the ball, or you got up the back or firm or soft, the lane saw whatever little adjustment that you made in your execution, whether it was intentional or not. The lane saw it. So.
Well, Klemper, it's a huge surprise. The lanes are hard, and you're back inside of another cut again. Only been a shot maker for about 30 years now, so it's just right back at home, just like Syracuse, where you made the show.
Just like that, or it almost reminds me, Chris, of a little maybe Rose Bowl East when we were bowling in Wichita, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's get the ball on the line.
Except that was the league shot. That was the league shot, and that's how I bowled. That's about how I felt right there.
Yeah, the league shot there was hook in front of you and then kind of hang to the right. So, and that's but that's kind of one of the beauties of this tournament, and that's one of the things that I love about it is demanding. If you want to go bowl on a tournament with an easy pattern and high scores, it's you don't come here. So.
Steve, you stay pretty busy in your real job day to day, and still have found time to have some pretty great success recently, even at some of the big events in your neck of the woods. But and always able to step up onto the master stage as well. Talk about the confidence you have coming in because of the recent success and past success at this event. What is it about this stage and this tournament that really gets you going?
Well, I think it is. I mean, it is fun, and it's nice to have a little bit of momentum kind of coming in, just having, some good performances in kind of our local and some of our regional tournaments lately. So that definitely does help. It kind of gives you, kind of reaffirms like, hey, the stuff you're doing and the stuff you're working on is the right kind of stuff to do. So, for me, this tournament here is just one of those things where you just know that the spares are always going to come into play. And even if you do, have a couple opens or, you pinch a couple balls off and they just, hook like crazy. You just got to kind of reset your mind and kind of get back exactly into the present moment and not let it just kind of quickly slip away, because it can happen in the blink of an eye, but but this tournament is fantastic. And that's what I love about it so much is, it's going to be tough, it's going to be hard, and you just got to manage your strategies. And it's, it's just a matter of making shots and yeah, it hasn't disappointed yet. That's for sure.
Well, take us back to 2018 just for a minute. You made the show there. We talked throughout the week, and kind of a whirlwind and a dream come true, and all the things wrapped into one. But how awesome was that experience? Can you describe just getting there and being able to almost bowl for the title at the Masters?
Yeah, that was a fantastic experience, and for me, it was just kind of nice at the time. It was right when they had the Open Championships was in the same venue. So when that was announced, it was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could actually get away from our keyboard and get away from, just actually, just being on the phone and doing emails and all this stuff all the time and get out and compete. So, it was a matter of bowling the Open Championships. And then when we got to it was like the Masters, it was just kind of gravy. It's like we did pretty decent. When we left, we were in the lead in the doubles. And then it just kind of carried that momentum just kind of into the Masters. And it was just kind of playing on house money, is what it kind of felt like. But things just kind of went my way, and it was a fantastic experience. It was really, really cool to be able to bowl in that big kind of arena environment, and that's what we have here in Reno too, like that, which is just it's a much different feeling than bowling in your local centers with the low ceilings and everything's kind of nice, kind of tight. This is like a big, wide open, vast thing, and that's what it was in Syracuse too, there at the On Center. So yeah, I wouldn't trade that for the world. Well, maybe one shot I would have traded. I remember one in particular. I got a memory like that. I know Chris does too. We talk about these, you remember those shots from years ago and specific games and frames and stuff like that. But I seriously, no, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
All right, Steve. Well, excellent effort out there, plus 39, I believe. Way to have a strong start, and hopefully, we get to continue to talk to you throughout the course of the week. Thank you so much for joining the crew here on Bowl TV, and with all this Wichita State connection here, just we got sectionals coming up. We got ITC's national championships coming up here in just a couple of weeks. So tell us your prediction for who's going to win the ITC this year.
Ooh, well,
that's supposed to be
considering my panel that's here with us today, I think we all got to say go Shockers. I might have a little black and gold on, maybe for a couple of jerseys here later on in the week, and like I say, hopefully I get to bowl good and kind of show a little bit of that little Shocker pride. So yeah, we'll be rooting for the Shockers. I'm sure the rest of Wichita and Josh and Chris and Packy, everyone's going to be doing the same. So it's going to be great though.
All right, Steve. Thank you again, sir, for joining us. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And we'll see you in days 2 and 3 moving forward.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, you guys keep up the good work. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck.
All right, guys, we are at the end of the broadcast for B Squad. So once again, we definitely appreciate you taking the time to join us here, offer the insight, offer some laughs along the way as well. So Packy, since you are bowling in this next squad first, best of luck to you. Hopefully a bunch of strikes for you. So we'll let you go first. Any parting words before you head out?
I'm just going to need a lot of prayers from everybody here. As much as the left side looks easy, I'm going to need some help.
All right.
But I appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. And we'll see you on the lane soon.
All right.
Good luck, Packy.
All right. Josh, you're up next. Even.
Yeah.
You're even heading to the last 2 days. So just what you're looking forward to and final parting thoughts.
Honestly, just throwing it better. I didn't throw very good today. I had a couple good ball reactions and missed a couple spares. So I'm just looking to get my feet underneath me and a little bit of anxiety today, a little excitement to get back out there in the lane. So just get comfortable the next 2 days and get myself prepared for the top 64 and then take it one match at a time.
All right, Josh, thank you again for joining us here. And
thanks, guys.
We'll see you next couple of days.
All right.
Mr. Barnes, last but certainly not least. Just once again.
Score.
Technically, you have Packy beat because he has 0 so far. So
Even's still ahead of me.
First off, once again, thanks for joining us here. What are you looking forward to the next couple of days, and final parting thoughts?
I hate the long break in between. So, but we'll probably get some games in and really just try and build on the shot making part and doing some of the old school tricks that we really haven't used a whole lot and try and get those sharper and then add in a little bit ball wise, kind of off of each other just a little bit more, but really just get into the rhythm of making really high level shots a little more often and making moves around. So trying to take advantage of the good pairs a little bit more and bail out the bad ones like you saw Sterner do right there.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you once again for joining us, and thank you for just everything. So we always appreciate the opportunity to chat. So best of luck the next few days, and we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate it, guys. Enjoy your 38 hours of continuous coverage.
Certainly.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Good luck tomorrow.
Okay. See you guys.
All right, Matt. We are through 2 rounds here today. A and B squad in the books. We still got C squad coming up next. What time is that? 10 p.m. Eastern. So we still got a couple hours here. About 2.5 hours. Obviously, as JT had mentioned, we had the one little hiccup on that one pair, so they're still finishing up right now. So as soon as we have scores for B Squad, those will be posted bowl.com/masters, and certainly we'll talk about it once we get to C Squad. We'll have to talk scores because that's what we do. But we're definitely keeping an eye on social media as well. The Sport of Bowling USBC on Facebook, at USBC on Twitter, and at US Bowling Congress on Instagram for updates and more. So, Matt, that was a lot of fun. We got to sit back and enjoy these guys do what they do. It was pretty awesome to take part in. And just your final thoughts before we sign off.
I think I agree. It was great. Some great insight from guys who actually bowled in the event, who also have a great eye for watching what's happening on the lane. So nice combination of conversation, something we can do here during qualifying, right? And hopefully more as the action unfolds, and 5 more games coming up later to see if anybody can catch Gary Faulkner. So we're looking forward to that and seeing who you guys lined up for us the rest of the way.
Certainly so. So for all of our guests today, we had so many folks starting off with Inside Bowling's Mike Flanagan, Chris Barnes, Josh Blanchard, Packy Hanrahan, talking to EJ Tackett, Steve Plempin, Jason Thomas sneaking in there for a minute as well. Of course, everybody on bowltv.com. We definitely enjoyed it. We hope you did as well. We'll be back once again, just a couple hours, 10 p.m. Eastern time for the final block of today. Round number 1, C Squad going to hit the lanes. Our defending champion, Jacob Buttriff, in the field, and that Belmo guy who tends to strike a bit in the Masters is back as well. He's on C Squad. So Packy as well. So some love from the left side. So we got it all coming up here next on Bowl TV. So folks, we'll see you in a couple hours. Once again, thank you for taking part of this broadcast. And remember, well, first for Matt Canzaro, I'm Aaron Smith. Almost forgot us, but once again, folks, remember on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. Have a great couple hours, and we'll see you soon right here on Bowl TV.